Hello everyone, and welcome to Twitch Tales, episode 93 of the running total, or season 6, episode 4, returning to Shadridge. Where did we leave off in the last episode? Well, Apis has found themselves back in Fondirg after an 8.5-month hiatus to other parts of the world. And Apis has discovered that Fondirg and Shadridge, the entirety of the Corinthial Island, but especially the northwest quadrant, is at war with a bunch of demons. Apis has introduced themselves to the big players in the scene, a Lieutenant Gellaby, and some of their former allies they've reacquainted themselves with, Briar the Druid, and Charlie and Polython the Druid, Vala the Wizard, and a bunch of the Knights of Kavosna. Apis has requested some supplies so that they can help out with the war. Apis has even gotten some allies of theirs, the Druids Polython and Briar, to cast a greater restoration spell on them at great personal cost, having to acquire a bunch of diamond dust as a component for the spell. They did so and got this greater restoration successfully cast on them to remove some of their mushroom fungusy curse. So Apis is back to 100% Dwarg now. Apis has also arranged for Charlie and Joey to accompany them on their mission north back towards Shadridge to help in the frontier of the war effort, the front line of the war effort. Apis has been tasked with the sort of special operative mission of getting deep behind enemy lines without getting murderated by a bunch of demons, and finding the portal to the demon plane and closing it so that they can finally win this war. I believe that's everything we need to know for now. So we will pick up at the moment that Apis has, lying on Polython's table in her back room of this greenhouse, Apis has been returned to self after this ritual of realigning the body, the soul, the mind, and the whole. As you come back to your consciousness as yourself, Apis, I need immediately an intelligence saving throw. Your mind is coming back to yourself in alignment with your body and your soul and your whole being, whole being with a W, whole. Actually, let me tip out all of these dice because people don't like seeing all the dice. Some people get a little bit flustered when there's too many dice in the dice tray, so let me just tip those out for you. Alright, So, what am I doing? I'm doing an intelligence saving throw. So for you, I need an intelligence saving throw. You have a +3 on your character sheet over there, you can see. That is a 10 + 3. So with your intelligence save, you manage to avoid any kind of like psychic damage from your mind sort of returning to you in this state all at once. But I will say that certain memories start to flood back in with the restoration of your body in alignment with the rest of you. It has, by proxy, also restored certain elements of your mind. For instance, a certain incident when you were younger, when you stepped into a plane of existence that you later forgot. A memory of the Merry Gentleman stirs in your mind. It is just a fleeting... It's a fleeting, half-forgotten memory, and you are going to have to think on it a lot more to try and piece together more of what happened. Because not only was it magically blocked from your mind until now, but it has also been a great many years since it happened. And so, genuinely, some parts of it are just forgotten. The part you remember, however, was somewhat concerning to you, because what you do remember is being introduced to his manor, following him through the path up towards his manor house, a manor that you are now familiar with from having been there again, but you remember being a lot younger then. You're a little smaller, everything's a little larger in scale because you are remembering it from a shorter stature. You were clearly not an adult by this point. And as he leads you up the garden path, he introduces you to a centaur, a satyr. And he says, "This is my head servant, Dobnaish. Sorry, may I have your name?" And you hear yourself say, "My name's Apis Hive." And he says, "Wonderful." And there is a very subtle smile at the corner of his mouth. And then the memory fades. And you find yourself back in the present day, lying on Parlethan's table. What do you want to do? Figure out how to get a new name and discard the old one. Did we give Merry Gentleman our name? Yes, we did. We now remember that the time that we stepped to the Feywild and we woke up with him saying, "I think we need to talk," which was a previous memory you'd had of the situation. That was all you had remembered up until now. But you now realise that you did, at that time, give him, willingly, your name. Hold on, close eyes, bang head. I've got to think about memory. You can try and think about memory some more. I'll roll you another intelligence saving throw, see if you remember more about it. That is a 4 plus 3, so that is a 7. It seems like, for now, that's all you're going to remember. You can try it various times as we go, but for now this is... You cannot remember further than that. So what do you want to do? You have your rapier, which you'll notice is there in the little display thing. We have updated the overlay. Thank you, Fancy, for the updated overlay. You can also notice that we have it in our inventory as well. We have updated things in here. So it is all up to date. We have our rapier, and in the battle map we have the rapier stat blocks as well for when we want to attack things with a rapier. How do we feel generally aside from memory? Fantastic. We feel wonderful. We feel refreshed and like you've just had a day at a spa. Your body is in alignment with your mind, which is in alignment with your soul. And then the three of them together have come together as a whole. With the knowledge of where we're going, did they give us a silver-bladed rapier? You asked for a rapier, they gave you a rapier. I'm not sure that they have a hell of a lot of resources after 8 months of fighting. Well, after some months of fighting the demons, they don't have a lot of resources expendable for dishing out. If you want to get it silvered, that's on you. Give Bri the rest of our diamond dust so that she can heal herself later. She can collect the rest and finish off her own journey. Oh yeah, we don't have jewelry anymore. Let's get rid of that. We hand over the diamond dust. We go outside into the. I want to say, was it the same day that we? Can't remember what time of day it would be right now. How much have you done today? You ran around for ages trying to find jewelry and stuff, didn't you? I think it's like evening. Avoids the termites, heads south to Fondirg, arrives early evening at nightfall. So you arrived at Fondirg at nightfall. You've spent all day doing things. It's late into the evening now, I think. So you can, I think the supply crate, the supply wagon will be first thing tomorrow morning, essentially. So you'll stay here one more night at the tattered page, and in the morning you'll set off with Charlie and Joey from the north edge of Fondirg towards Shadridge. How long did the ritual take? Not very long, only a few minutes, really. Can we ask to stay with Briar? If you guys want to. Thumbs up, thumbs down if you want to ask to stay with your friend Briar. That's 3 no's, that's 4 no's. That's 1 yes. It's pretty close, but the no's have it a little bit. Let me put it to a poll real quick. Just a 1-minute poll. Ask to stay with Briar. Briar doesn't offer, but you can ask to stay with Briar, yes or no. Yes or no. Briar, for anybody who needs a refresher, is our teeny tiny little druid friend. She's a halfling, a hobbit, and she's small even by hobbit standards. She's only 2 foot tall. And she's a relatively powerful druid, but she's recently been scarred across the face by this like huge sort of burn mark, this crescent moon burn mark across her face, and she's quite self-conscious of it, it seems, from how she's been acting. If we go to the tattered page, which is a library / inn tavern, we could research for fiends. Yeah, we could look up stuff about closing portals, maybe. Tattered page is a bunch of books. She is our friend and she's hurt. We should see if we can help her a bit before we leave. We got a 50-50 shot. Apis is undecided. All right. As with all 50-50s, it comes down to a evens versus odds roll. If we get evens, we will ask to stay with Briar. That is evens. So Apis decides to ask. She's our friend. She's clearly hurt, and she needs. She's hurt, and she needs to. She's feeling bad about stuff. Maybe she could do with some company. So we ask her this. We say, Briar, since I'm on the south of town, and you're not too far from here, would you like the company tonight? I could cook us some dinner, or not. Maybe. Do you want to do? Should I? Let's now roll your charisma check. See how well you do at being charming and charismatic and asking in a polite way that isn't forcing yourself on her, kind of thing. That is an 11. 11 plus your charisma modifier. That is a 12, which is above average, but not by much. Panpipe bonus, yeah. King of awkward situations, yeah, we kind of are. Can we also insight on the answer and reaction? Yeah, okay. So you ask her, can we stay with you tonight? And her answer is, let me roll you an insight first, actually, just to see then how I describe how she answers. I'm going to roll you an insight check now. Nat 20. Nat 20 plus your insight modifier of 2. That's very good enough insight that you can definitely tell that she answers with a feeling of obligation as a friend. You can tell from this that Briar sees you as a friend, and you are asking for a place to stay, and so her instinct is to say yes. And so she answers yes. You can yeah, if you need to stay with me, but the wording she uses is more like, yeah, if you need a place to stay, you're welcome, rather than I would like you to stay, or I would like that, or thank you for offering, or like, you can tell that she is it would not be her decision for you to come and stay at her place. It would be because she feels like she owes it to you, kind of thing. 12 seems about right. People isn't our forte. Yeah, I could play the panpipes for you. She's giving us a polite yes. Yeah. Respond with, perhaps I'll stay in the library and do some research on fiends. Yeah. Well, it's wonderful catching up with you again, Briar. And maybe I'll catch you before I set off tomorrow or something. You awkwardly offer a hug because Apis isn't much of a hugger themselves, and Briar is a hugger, but isn't very comfortable around people at the moment. So you kind of give this like half awkward side hug, single arm kind of hug, and then say, right, thank you so much. I obviously can't repay either of you for what you've done for me today. I appreciate it, but I should be getting off. I've got a big day tomorrow, so lots of things to research and things. I'm gonna head to the tattered page, and Briar's like, you can stay with me if you want. Like now, very clear that it's like, shit. Now I feel bad that you've picked up on the fact that I didn't really want you there, and now I want to double down to be like, you should stay. But it's clear that she's like, I'm not comfortable around people at the moment. So you set off out of the greenhouse and head off north through the town of Fondirg. It takes you a moment to sort of convince the people on the gate to let you in, but you convince them who you are, and you walk through the town towards the tattered page on the northwest of town. Friends respect friends, yeah. It's okay, Briar, really. It's your house, your choice. I'll see you later. So you arrive at the tattered page with who was it that ran the tattered page? It began with an A, I think, like Annabelle or Anastasia or something. Control find tattered page. Tattered page. Andrea. There we go. Anyways, I see the brain's half working still. Andrea, Annabelle. I wasn't too far off. You find the tattered page as it's sort of like a multi-purpose establishment. It was once a library. It has been converted into a tavern/inn, and then since then has also got a restaurant sort of extension to it. So it's a restaurant, a tavern, an inn, and a library all in one, really. The woman who runs it is known as Andrea, and she is an acolyte to the god Fifke. Fifke is one of the gods of the knowledge domain and language and writing and teaching and all sorts of things like that. And she's an acolyte. She's a worshipper of Fifke, and runs the library a little bit like a temple. Runs it a little bit like a temple to Fifke. You can borrow books while you're here, like you can borrow books without any kind of membership or anything. You don't need to donate to the library. You don't need to be even staying here at the inn. If you are just going to walk in and sit in one of the chairs, you can do so. But if you want to take any of the books away with you out of the library, then like if you want to take them into the restaurant or if you want to take them into your rooms, then she requests that you like write down your name and which books you're taking and such. And then there's a voluntary donation to the upkeep of the library and stuff if you are going to borrow any of the books. So you're going to try and find some books on fiends for the rest of the evening. Can we get a library card though so we can take books away and a known friend of the library? You can potentially ask for something like that. She doesn't have a library card system, but you can write down who you are and borrow some books. You have stayed here before, and I'm going to roll you an insight check as you walk in. 4 plus your insight of 2 is 6 total. You don't read any expression one way or another on Andrea, whether she recognizes you or whether she has known your fake counterpart, doppelganger guy, while you were gone. Either way, it's not clear on her face. She might not have even had any interaction with you for 8 months. She just treats you like you're a stranger walking in and greets you and says, "You want to stay another night," sort of thing. So we're going to look for a book on the fiends. Is that what people are saying? A pile of newspapers where we might find stories about fake Apis? Unfortunately not, no. Books on how to disrupt energies. I said that Briar's upset with us. She's one of our favourite NPCs. She's not necessarily upset with you. She's just... she's on a journey at the moment, and a journey of self-healing and things. And she's not in a place where she can... she necessarily wants people's company. Books on lower planes in general might have useful side notes, yeah. What happened with fake Apis? Is that resolved and taken care of? When you arrived back in the Prime Material, fake Apis disappeared, which prompted Vala to message you and say, "Where are you? Briar was expecting you for dinner, and you didn't turn up." And then after that, you haven't heard anything from them other than the night before last. You messaged them via Vala and said, "Give me my braces back," and they said, "No, they're my braces now." Other than that, you don't know anything about them, where they are, who they are, what they are. Can we sign a book out, see if we borrowed any while we were in the Feywild? Yeah, we could try that. Ask if the doppelganger stayed here and read anything in particular. You walk to Andrea and you ask for an extension of the room and the fact that you'd like to also borrow some books and take them to your room to read if possible. She seems to be with your 6 insight. She seems to be amenable, friendly. She agrees that you can do so. She will charge you for the room and whatnot. Let me take you to your inventories thing here and just be like, how much is it gonna be? She'll charge you 3 silver. She'll charge you 3 silver for the room, and there's no charge on the borrowing of the books. But there is like a little voluntary donation box, like an alms box essentially on the side for general upkeep of the thing. She says, yeah, you're welcome to borrow books. I request that it's no more than 3 at once, so you can borrow up to 3 books and then bring one back before you want to borrow any more. And she says, don't damage them, don't eat while you're reading them, please, because the food gets into the pages and the greasy fingers can damage them and stuff, blah blah blah. Just gives you like a brief breakdown. And then there's sort of like a pause in the conversation, and you take the opportunity to say, have I been here in the last 8 months? My counterpart. I understand that that you might not know, but I was being impersonated by a doppelganger or something. Have I been here? And she says, yes, you've been here a few times. I had heard through the grapevine that the person that we'd gotten to know wasn't the person that was now in town. Is that so? It was a doppelganger, and you say, I don't know exactly what it was, but some kind of fairy thing was impersonating me. So have you never been here before? And you say, the real me, I have been here before. And you explain the time that you were here, and you're like, well, to me it was actually only like a month ago, but to you it would have been like 9 months ago. It was around the time of Lucifreak, and I was the one. The real me was the one who killed Lucifreak, the green dragon. And she's like, oh, okay, right. Well, welcome then. And suddenly her demeanor changes a little bit, and she gets a little bit more friendly, a little bit more smiley. It seems now, through conversation, you've managed to make up for what you missed with an insight check. It seems she had heard half rumours and things. Nobody's come to her directly to tell her the case, but she has heard through the grapevine and rumours around town that like that hero of Fondirg, the one who killed the dragon, was a fake, and then they disappeared, and maybe they were a demon, and maybe killing the dragon was so that they could get dragon blood to start the demon to aid in the demon war in some way. And like there's all these like wild rumors and speculations that people are passing off as truths, which has seemed to culminate in people not even believing that Apis, the real Apis, has ever been in this town at all. And so now that you are here, people are like, who the hell is this guy in in reality, kind of thing. So all of that comes out, and she explains, yeah, this is what I'm hearing, this is what a lot of people have been saying, like the one who saved us from dragons is actually a demon, and stuff like this. And you're like, cool. Great, no, that's not, I was here, real, then I went away, blah, blah, blah. You explain the situation, and you're like, the last time I was here was this. So up until that point, it was real me. After that point, not me. Did they do anything demonic or anything? And she's like, no, they every time they entered every time they came to this library, they would just borrow a couple of books and read, and they would be very respectful, and they treated the place just like you treated the place back in the early days, I suppose. Can we just start some counter truths now? Yeah. Do you happen to have a record of what they were reading? Yes, the same books that you've chosen here, actually. Books on fiends, books on the lower planes, books on anything about protecting oneself from demons and fiends and devils, how to tell the difference between the devils and the demons. They borrowed a book on the Blood War for a great length of time. It's quite a dense book, quite a difficult read, but they worked their way through it a little bit at a time. Any books that we're missing that they read other than the book on the Blood War? I mean, they over 8 months they spent a lot of time here. They read a great deal of books. I'd be able to point you to some of them, but I wouldn't remember all of them, and I don't have some of them. They just read out here in the open, where we wouldn't necessarily have taken note of what they were reading. Any books that they took to their room, I took note of, and I might still have that somewhere. Did they make any notes on the things they were reading? Maybe stuff they didn't clean up from their room? No. I just reading. I will say that the veracity with which they were reading surprised me. Either they were a very fast reader, or they weren't actually reading the things that they borrowed. Once or twice I heard music coming from their room as I was passing, doing some cleaning and things, and it seemed they were perhaps playing music to themselves, playing an instrument of some kind. And when I went into the room to clean it the next morning, the book was there, but I didn't see any other instruments. So it seems like maybe they just didn't feel like reading. They borrowed the book in case they wanted to read that night, and then they chose to play instruments instead. Were they playing panpipes? Definitely some kind of woodwind. I'd say possibly pipes, yes. Some like fairy music. I'm not familiar with fairy music. Like the sort of music you'd hear in the Feywild, in the Gaiety. I've never been, I'm afraid. Well, thankfully. Is the room that they stayed in still available? Oh, they didn't stay in one single room any time they came. They just stayed in whichever rooms were available. How good of a reader is Apis? Apis is a good reader. Apis has got a 3 intelligence. It's your highest stat. You are an intelligent person. You've got a 17 intelligence, which is significant. I think we should try and long-term borrow the Blood War book and read it a bit each night. You could try, yeah, if you wanted to. Was it decent music? Oh yes, seemed very proficient. Were they playing well? If they were, it was a dead giveaway that it wasn't me. I'm a bit in need of practice with my panpipes. It was very good, yes. So looking like us by what we would have been reading, but not necessarily reading it because they didn't need to. Very possible. You infer that there's a chance that the fake Apis was keeping up appearances of being fake Apis in everything, not just in appearance, but in your behaviour as well, which is staying where you would have stayed, doing what you would have done in downtime, playing panpipes and reading the books that you would have read, but not actually having to read the books, but just putting it on for show, perhaps. Or they're a very good reader and they were skim reading the books for the information that they were looking for, or they were looking for very specific information and not finding it in certain books, but not giving away what they were looking for by returning books unread and saying that's not what I was looking for. Maybe they were trying to hide what it is they were looking for, but only looking for very specific things. There's a lot of reasons why one might not actually seem to be reading the books that one is reading. Maybe they just they have some ability to absorb information at a great rate, so they can just kind of touch a book and absorb all the information in it. Who knows? They may have been sent here as a simple stand-in and pretended to read books and played panpipes to pass the time. Maybe. They seem to super stalkers. If that is the case, that they were just pretending to be you in all aspects, then it means that they know a lot about you. I still want to long-term borrow the Blood of War book. Thumbs up, thumbs down for the Blood of War, the Blood War book. I'm trying to ask to borrow it. It's a big, dense thing. It's like War and Peace. It's a huge, big, dry kind of written manual about the war between the devils and the demons. That would have been torture for a Fae, yeah. Maybe fake Apis is just Apis from the future. Maybe. Alrighty. You ask to borrow the manual on the Blood War, and she says, "Oh, by all means. It's I think the only person that's touched it in the last couple of months was the other you and the general, the lieutenant that's in charge of the town now. He came by to sort of brush up on it." On the Blood War and such. So yes, by all means, I with all my books, I request that you check in every other day at the very least to let me know that you're still using it, or to renew the borrowing. If you're going to be leaving town, I request that you bring the book back before you're done with it. I don't wish to lose any of my books. But if you wish to just borrow it for the night, then you can do so as well. Just write your name here. I'll be leaving in the morning for Shadridge, so I'll return it in the morning. Very well. She takes your name down on the sheet of paper by the sort of sign in the sign-in book. She writes down the title of the book and the author, and you have this large tome, heavy tome of just dry writing, essentially, of the facts and figures of the Blood War. Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes has a whole section at the beginning, chapter 1 in fact, from page 5 to page 35. That is all about the Blood War. So, if what you are doing in this evening, Apis, is just reading the Blood War, then what you guys can do between sessions is somehow find access to a Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes, either on D&D Beyond or in person, or borrow it from a friend, and you can read about the Blood War. I could potentially just turn Twitch Tales into a Robert Reed's and just read you this section of the Blood War. But given that it's 30 pages long, it's not going to be super useful for me to do that right now. It's nice and easy to edit. I should do that. Yeah, I should just turn it into a Robert Reed's, and then it's super easy to edit. But yes, it's all about the Blood War, and basically the Blood War is the name for the ongoing war between the devils and the demons. The Cliff Notes version of it. The Cliff Notes version of it, as you go, is that there are a finite number of devils. We're talking billions, but there are still just like a finite number of them, and they spawn only by corrupting mortal souls and bringing them into the devils, and then turning them into devils from evil souls essentially. Whereas there are an infinite number of demons, the infinite planes of the abyss are called infinite planes because, as far as any researcher or academic has ever been able to ascertain, there are literally infinite planes of them, and the planes themselves just spawn demons. They're just constantly just churning them out. And so in the war between one and the other, the benefit that the demons have is that of numbers. They're just chucking demons at the devils, just in big rolling masses of them, just devils after demons after demons after demons. And the benefit that the devils have is that the demons do not know how to fight. Demons have numbers and nothing else. They don't have tactics. They don't have formations and battalions. They don't have special operatives. They don't know how to organize themselves. They are literally chaos incarnate. They're evil chaos. And so the chaos means, by definition, that they cannot form any kind of hierarchies of organization within their ranks. And so the devils, with their tactics and military might and lawfulness, they are lawful incarnate, and so they do form very strict ranks with order of operations and like who's in charge of whom, and keeping themselves organized in a very smart and strategic way. They manage to fight back the demons, but only so much as it keeps them in a stalemate, essentially. Plus, there are a bunch of planes between the planes of hell and the planes of the abyss that the respective armies have to get through to fight each other. And so the devils are strategic enough to be like, we're going to stay back here in the lawful side of the continuum, force the demons to sort of force their way through all of the other lower planes to get to us via the river Styx and whatnot. They'll have thinned out their numbers tremendously by the time they even get to us. And when they get to us, we'll be ready for them with strategy and stuff. And so they're constantly fighting this infinite war to keep them back. And so it's theorized that if the devils or the demons ever started to gain an advantage over the other one, then the war would tip. And if the devils consumed the demons, or vice versa, then there would be nothing to stop them turning their attentions outwards to the material planes, to the inner planes, to the outer planes, to the upper planes, and eventually they would take over everything, because there's just an infinite number of them. And so basically, yeah, that's the summary. That is the Cliff Notes summary version of it that you get from your evening of reading this very dry book. Is that the demons are generally easy to outsmart and outmaneuver, but there's just a lot of them, and so you're going to be dealing with numbers over strategies. To be fair, that means that only the competent demons get to engage in the blood war. Yes, because they've gotten all the way through the other planes of existence, the pandemonium and stuff like that. Any loose papers or notes in the book? Let's make an investigation check for you, relatively low DC, as you sort of flick through the book, and let's see if you can find anything. That is an 11 plus your investigation modifier of 3 is a 14. With a 14, you sort of turn the thing upside down by the cover and kind of flick it a little bit, and sure enough, a single piece of parchment, a small piece of parchment, comes out. It's just like notepad size, like a tiny little piece like this. Just flicks out, and on it are written just a couple of words, a few words. It says, "I guess you're back now," and then like a little smiley face. Pocket it. Slip that in your pocket. Taunting little shit. Yeah. Fairies, man. Fairies gotta amuse themselves somehow. Alright, by this point, you are exhausted. It's been a long day. You are gonna head to sleep and have your long rest. Do you want to use your dice at all before the end of the day? I don't believe you've used them at all today. I did mess around with the overlays, setting up your rapier and stuff, so I might have refreshed when I didn't mean to. As we go to sleep, meditate on the first time that we were in the Feywild, try and remember more, sure. Ask about if our treasure has been disturbed. Oh yeah, you could. You could ask the dice if your treasure has been disturbed at all. Hold that little note near a flame, check for any hidden writing on it, invisible ink. You do so and nothing shows up. Seems like it's just to taunt you. Ask the dice if fake Apis is actually us from the future. You could ask them that if you want. We can ask anything we want. Knowing how much demons hate devils, and there's a guy in the a guy called the Fiend in town. We could ask if the Fiend is an actual devil. You could. Dice question: is our stash disturbed? Is our quiver of arrows infinite? We could ask them those. Yeah. Are we gonna? So we're definitely getting. Is our cache of money disturbed as one of the options? What was some of the other options? Is our arrows infinite? Is the Fiend an actual devil? Don't ask if it's disturbed, because then woe wheel becomes the opposites and it's hard to interpret. Anything else? I'll ask about our money. Ask about is the Fiend a devil? Ask about our arrows infinite. Ask if fake Apis is us from the future. Do we have everything we need to close the portal? That's a good one. All right, those are our 5 options. Poll. Question: what to ask the dice? Infinite arrows. Is the Fiend a devil? Do we have everything we need? Is fake Apis future us? And is our stash disturbed? Thank you. Is our money still there? Like we can, as I say, we can change the wording once we vote on the topic. The vote is almost done, and with 70% of the vote, we decide to ask the dice: do we have everything we need to close the portal? Excuse me. Only 15% of people wanting to ask, is fake Apis future us? Only 7% of people wanting to ask, is the Fiend a devil, or is our money still there? And 0% of people wanting to ask about the arrows being infinite. Not even the person who suggested that in chat wanted that. So Apis overwhelmingly decides we're going to ask the dice right as we go to sleep. We're going to ask the dice: have we got everything we need to close the portal? Now come up with the wording. Somebody give me a suggestion of a place to start. Oh, our money is 100% gone. No need to ask about it. I didn't vote for either of my suggestions, so I take geek. What a cool box, by the way. Look at this. Look at this cool dice box I was made. This is a handmade, unique box that was made for me by Wooten Forge over in Perth. If we go to the portal in a timely manner, do we have what we need on us and near the portal to be able to close the portal? That's pretty good. That's pretty good wording there. If we go to the portal in a timely manner, do we have what we need on us and near the portal to be able to close the portal? Do we have on our person everything we need to close the open Fiend portal on the Lone Mountain? Are we able to prepare any more than we already did? I mean, that one's going to come up as a yes. You can always prepare more. You could stay here for a year and train to be a better fighter. Will I and my travelling companions be able to successfully close the closest portal to the Abyss with the equipment we already have? I like the timely fashion wording better. Specifying on our person excludes our friends who are coming with us, though. Yeah. Do we want to ask if we know everything we need, or if we have everything we need? You could do both. Do we know everything? Do we have all of the knowledge and equipment and friend and allies necessary to close this portal? If only the dice would be less fayish, we could just ask, are we good? Yep, the dice are created and answered by an archfey, and they are tricky bastards with their fey bullshit. And so, if you'd have gotten these dice from a god, like the god of knowledge or something, one of the god like Fifka or Torigma, then you'd probably just be able to be like, hey, you know what I'm trying to ask. Am I good? Am I good to go? And they'd probably be like, yeah, you're good to go. Whereas you're asking a fae, and they'd be like, well, technically you said on your person, and you know, the things you'll need to close it might not be on your person. Fucking faith. Are the preparations that I and my companions have made sufficient to close the demon portal in the Great Expanse? That could be a good one. How do we feel about that one, people? Are the preparations that I and my companions have made sufficient to close the demon portal in the Great Expanse? If we say the abyss and the portal isn't to the abyss, what will we do for the question if we specify something that is false? Depends on what part of it is false. If you say, if you said, is there preparations enough to close the portal to the portal to the elemental plane of fire, which it isn't, then it would be like, it depends if there's an elemental plane of fire nearby, because if there is, then it'd be like, yeah, you can close the elemental plane of fire. Talking about a completely different portal. Your backpack was on the floor when you asked, so technically it wasn't on your person. Do I and my travelling companions have the knowledge and equipment required to successfully close the portal to the abyss located at the Lone Mountain? That's a pretty good one, Trio Dave. That's a pretty good one. How do we feel about this one? We haven't made any preparations so they could loophole that. You've made preparations. Oh, you mean made? You haven't like made the holy water? Because that is a point. You haven't made holy water, but you have made preparations. I don't like the preparations one because it could be interpreted that the preparations aren't enough because we haven't worked on closing it yet. Yeah, preparations alone are not enough until you actually do something with it. Can all the thinking chat does get Rob to ask the right question without us having to nail it down? This is part of the fun that I have playing Twitch Tales, is forcing you guys to work as a team though, because in any other game, like this is one of the unique things about this game. In any other game of D&D, one person is in charge of the wording of everything, right? And they might ask for input from their 3 or 4 friends around the table, but ultimately there's not that many people chipping in. Here I've got like 100 people chipping in, which makes it very amusing to me to force you guys to try and nail something down. I reckon Rob's an actual troll. The portals that are causing the demonic incursions. Yeah, we'll say that instead then. Alright, so Tree of Daves has good words. It says blah blah blah. The portals, and we'll some people are worried about the abyss, so we'll say the portals that are causing the demonic incursions from the Lone Mountain. Do I and my travelling companions have the knowledge and equipment required to successfully close the portals that are causing the demonic incursions from the Lone Mountain? Are we good with that? Thumbs up, thumbs down if you want to tweak any of it or not. Like, are you good with it? Yes or no? Portals, plural. I mean portals, just to keep your bases covered. There may be more than one portal as far as you know, but the portals includes just one. In text form, I'd prefer portal with a bracket around the S. Yeah. Alright, Apis is fine with that wording. I could even say fiendish if we were worried about demons. I will say that you do know that they're demons. You've spoken to enough people about this stuff and what's going on that you know that they're demons that are coming out. Alrighty. So, taking that wording, let me just copy paste it into my notes for reasons. Reasons. Miscellaneous notes. Questions asked to the dice. You take the dice out of your little dice box that says Apis on it. You are left with a pang of recognition as you take the dice out, and it says Apis. You are reminded in that moment that you gave your name willingly to the merry gentleman when you were a child, or a adolescent perhaps. You roll the dice in your hands, you think about your question, and you ask, do I and my travelling companions have the knowledge and equipment required to successfully close the portal or portals that are causing the demonic or fiendish incursions from the Lone Mountain? That's very cool. Nothing above a 7. You ask this question, and as they start to bounce on the surface that you're dropping them onto, it's going to be a difficult one. All right. Okay. You feel a burst of warmth, like sunlight on the skin. You see a flash of bright radiant light. You hear the clashing of metal and the squealing of some sort of dying demonic creature. You taste the warmth of a summer's day, the air, and you smell the pollen in the air of a warm summer day in a healthy forest. All in all, you are left with a sense of wheel. Answer, wheel. Yep, got it all. Okay, that is your answer from the first question. First question of the night. And you have asked the dice one question. Do you wish to use any other dice questions, knowing that they have a chance of not being 100% accurate? Again, like the Teletubbies. For the graph. Do we want to ask the dice question again? Yes. Roll again and ask about the arrows now. It's a relatively inconsequential question. Alright, thumbs up, thumbs down. We want to ask the dice a second question. Firstly, just do we want to ask the dice a second question, or are we going to sleep? Second question, have you answered this question truthfully? Alright, yes, we want to ask the dice a second question. Alright, now, after this point, no more thumbs up, thumbs down. Stop. After this point, the next question is, are we going to ask the dice the same question again? Same wording. Thumbs up, thumbs down. The purpose of doing so will be to try and work out, a little bit at a time, exactly what the ratio of correct answers is. Because if you manage to work out through trial and error that there is a 1% chance of a wrong answer on the second question, then you might as well ask several questions in a day. But if you find out that there's a 50-50 shot, then you know that 2 questions is kind of stupid. Apis suspects that we can get a second one for free. Alright, so we've got 2 yeses, 2 nos, 2 yeses, 2 nos, a yes and a no, 2 yeses and a no, so we've got 1 yes in the lead, 2 yeses in the lead, 3 yeses in the lead. Oof, it's not. It's 4 yeses in the lead, 5 yeses in the lead. Okay, we're now in the lead. I was going to put it to a poll to see for sure, but now we're like 6 yeses in the lead. So Apis, to start doing some research. You are a 17 intelligence character. You are a very book smart person. You are logical and rational. So you think, I've been told that these dice have a chance of doing have a chance of telling me the right answer a second time as well. Let's start seeing if they do. So you ask them the exact same question. And the question was, do I and my travelling companions have the knowledge and equipment required to successfully close the portal or portals that are causing the demonic or fiendish incursions from the Lone Mountain? And you get the exact same images and feelings and tastes and sounds and sounds, sights, tastes, smells, and feelings, with the sense of wheel. Again. You grab your dice again, and you ask the exact same question again, and you get the same imagery. You get the same imagery bouncing around in your head, like you get the same visions and everything, and you're left with a sense of wheel. Keep going, maybe we'll frustrate the merry gentleman. You ask the same questions again a 4th time, and you get a mixture of the same images and sounds and sights as you got before, but you also get a couple more sights that are demons about to bite your face, and the sense of cold, the sense of loss of hope, despair. You get the the site of a burning forest, and it's a mixture of weal and woe. It's the merry gentleman saying, "I'd ask again, I dare you." How many dice are there? It's a full set of 7 polyhedrals. And sorry, I wasn't keeping track, but yes, that was in round 4. That one. Does anyone else worry that we're changing fate? What numbers did we roll? You rolled the images. You didn't roll the numbers. The bone dice that you have aren't exactly numbered dice. The dice that I have in real life are numbered, but the bone dice that you have got runes on them, etchings, divinatory symbols. Detect portal on the portal, take notes. This is research document. Yeah, Apis takes notes. Should we round it off at an even 10 roll? What happens if you roll the dice one at a time rather than all at once? Then they wouldn't work. I want to see if it flips back by chance. It could. Do we roll one more time? See if it flips back by chance. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Roll a 5th time. All right, 5 times. Let's go. All right, on a 5th time, Apis is putting the dice away and thinking, let's leave it there. And then they go, no, actually, let's get some more data points. Let's get some more data points and roll them again. So you ask again, a 5th time. If anybody's walking past your room, they're going to be very confused as to what's going on. Do I and my travelling companions have the knowledge and equipment required to successfully close the portal or portals that are causing the demonic or fiendish incursions from the Lone Mountain? The answer you get is the same as the previous one. It is a mixture of weal and woe. There are some radiant light and then some like bursts of demonic energy. You feel cold, but you feel warm. You feel sun on your skin, but you feel fire on your skin too. It's a mixture of weal and woe. The dice fall in a pattern that resembles an outstretched middle finger. I'm guessing it's increasing DC for the number of rolls we've done. An actual result in the dice determines truthful or not for each die. And then we almost stopped, but there's a voice like Bob's Drink that says, graphs, maths, stats, information, data. Now I want to know whether the answer only gets worse. Roll again. Alright, you take it up to a 6th time. Apis, you roll again. Same wording as before. And you get a roll of woe. This time all of the good responses that you've gotten aren't to be found. You are left with a feeling of woe after images of death and demonic incursions and all that stuff. Ask again with the question reversed rather than succeed. Will we fail? Ooh, that's an interesting one. Are we continuing to ask? You got what? 3 correct, 2 weal and woes, and 1 woe. If we are changing fate, it can't get worse than this. Do it again. All right. Thumbs up, thumbs down to ask again a 7th time, just for more data, more graphs. All right, we go again. We go again. Apis is like, you know what? If I'm doing this, let's do this. I would like to get to Shadridge some point this session, says Wraith. Look. All right, here we go. You get a mixture of weal and woe. The weal elements come back into it again. The radiant light and the sunlight warmth. That comes back into it. But there is still those elements of bad sticking around. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Do you want to do it again? I joked about going somewhere else to delay us, and you guys are rolling dice in bed. Yeah. All right, we're getting many more no's now. All right, taking us to 10. Apis, for the next one you get a mixture of weal and woe. For the ninth one you get just weal. You get back to the good odds again on the last one. Sorry, on that one, and then on the 10th one you get a mixture of weal and woe, and it rounds you out to 10. And hopefully you've got enough information and data there. There you go. The 9th one was good data because it shows it can revert. Yes. So you roll the dice 10 full times. It takes you a good half an hour to get them to decide on the wording, to ask it, to write it down, and so you're pretty freaking tired, I'd say. You cast Detect Portal using one of your, I think it's a, I always forget because Divine Sense, no, not Divine Sense. What's it called? The Ranger one? Primeval Awareness. Primeval Awareness and Detect Portal. One of them is just you can do it once per short rest, and one of them is it takes a spell slot to do, right? I always forget which is which. Detect Portal. As an action, you can sense the direction to a local portal, and you've used it once short rest. Yeah, so it's Detect Portal that is a once per short rest. And it is the closest planar portal to a particular... You can just find the closest portal within a mile of you. Because of your extension through, what's his name? TomTom. Because of your extension of this ability through TomTom, you can also ask it a specific portal rather than just where's the closest portal. It makes it a little bit more useful that way. It's an upgrade that I gave you as a ranger, as a Horizon Walker ranger. So you get TomTom out and you ask to detect the portal to the upper planes, sorry, to the lower planes, to the demonic planes, and TomTom does the little run around in the center of your palm and then stops and looks up at you with his little antenna moving. Seems that there is not a portal to the lower planes within range of your ability. It seems that the portal is far too far to the north, and far too far to the north from where you are now to be in range of your... even if you were in your favoured terrain, even if you were in forest, then it would be outside of your six mile range. But being that you're not in your favoured terrain, it's only a mile range, and it's definitely not within that mile range. Still useful information. It means that definitively there is no portal to the demonic planes here in Fondirg. Or if there is, it's hidden by magic somehow. Alright, since you have spell slots, I will make the executive decision that you use one to cast Primeval Awareness as well, because I saw a couple people saying that they wanted to do that. So you focus on just the very immediate vicinity of the tattered page that you're in at the moment. You focus on demonic spirits and feelings and stuff, and you do not get a sense of demons. So within the tattered page and the immediate surroundings, no demons. Just for flavour as well, you cast it again, but you focus the radius a little larger, on like the entirety of this particular district of Fondirg. Not the entirety of Fondirg, but just this district. And you get no senses of demons come back to you. So you know that in this section, this suburb of Fondirg, there are no demons. And then you go to sleep. Okay. You go to sleep. As you go to sleep, it's Wraith taking notes today, right? Not Fancy? Yeah, so you have a long rest, and you wake up in the morning without a dream. The dream can wait until tomorrow night. You wake up. You wake up in. Yes, you do have a dream of the moment that you met the merry gentleman. Once again, you find yourself. Where is it? Back when we became a Horizon Walker. Is this it? There it is. Yes, this one. It's the same dream that you've had another time in life. Back when you were level 3, when you were becoming a Horizon Walker. The The darkness is complete and the silence deafening. You open your eyes and can barely make out the canvas of the tent above you and the soft breaths of Lakara beside you. You hear it again, the sound of hooves in dirt just outside the tent, and a clatter of rocks from near the campfire. Grasping your weapons and quiver, you draw back the tent flap and crawl out into the pitch darkness of Diggon's temple, just as the fluttering of wings disappear into the trees beyond. Hesitating for a moment, you decide not to wake Lakara, instead stepping out to investigate alone first. You've always enjoyed the quiet solitude of Diggon's temple, ever since finding it a year or two before. But now, the darkness, once a meditative deprivation of the senses, is an ominous blanket of deception behind which untold horrors lie and wait. You feel fear and dread seeping into you as you walk deeper into the trees, as well as a sense of hopelessness and defeat. You lean against the tree and find it cold to the touch. Finding a moment of clarity, you light a torch, wondering why you didn't think to do so sooner. And you're shocked to find that the wood around you is dead and petrified. The canopy is bare and open to the sky, dark and grey. Grey. It occurs to you that everything is grey. Even under the light of the torch, a torch which is unnervingly cold and dreary, rather than warm and comforting. The wood and ground is monochromatic. Panicking, you turn around and make your way back to Diggon's temple. As you move, the sense of hopelessness creeps in once more. It's useless, you tell yourself. I'm lost forever and Lakara's dead and it's all my fault. But another part of the mind steps up to take the helm and you think, if I can find myself here, I can find my way back. It's not like I'm suddenly in a different plane, and there is a ray of light ahead. A strand of the earliest twilight has poked its way through a hole in a now leafy canopy, and excitedly made its lonesome way to the ground near your feet. You move quickly towards the light, and happily recognize colour in the ground that it illuminates. You follow the dawning of an early twilight and soon hear lively sounds of woodland critters and a babbling brook. You also see that the world around you is highly saturated in colour, vibrant and bright. You see movement on a tree, and a curious turquoise rodent scampers down, a long bushy tail trailing behind it and small nubbins of horns leading the way from atop its head. You have no time to react, however, before the sound of wings catches you unaware from behind. You spin around and just in time to get a face full of sparkling dust, and you're asleep before you hit the floor. Thank you, Dopnaish. I'll take it from here. You're dismissed. Your head swims as your heavy eyelids crawl open. You see that you're on your back, on a soft surface with a beautiful twilight sky above you, and standing near you, a dwarf man in a fine green suit and a brown top hat. So, the dwarf says, you're a horizon walker. Fascinating. He raises his fingers and a vine sprouts beside him, quickly blooming into a yellow buttercup from which he plucks from the vine, and hands to you as you sit up. It contains amber liquid, and he conjures one of his own and takes a sip. You see a large white manor behind him, next to a lake. A horizon walker. I think we have much to discuss. That is where the dream ended previously. But now the dream continues, because your memories have been returned to you somewhat. You sit up and take the yellow buttercup from him. Drink up, it'll help with the head. You take a long sip of the amber liquid. It tastes warm. Where am I? You hear yourself say. People refer to it by many names. Most call it the Gaiete. You've heard of it. You stand and follow this gentleman towards the manor house. Who are you? Much like the plane we reside in, I go by many names. Here I'm known as Lord Ordval. You approach the front steps and see a I've written satyr, but I don't think you'd know what a satyr is. You approach the steps and see a half goat man standing in front of the door. May I introduce you to Dopnaish? He's my head servant. Oh, sorry. May I have your name? My name's Ep93, you hear yourself say. And the dream ends there. Warm amber liquid. The Mary Jean gentleman pee in a cup. Yeah. So, you wake in the morning having had a long rest. Congratulations. You remember somewhat that the merry gentleman found you stumbling around in the Feywild, having accidentally stepped into the Gaete. Found you fascinating because Horizon Walkers are rare and hard to come by. And when you arrived, you accepted drink from him and gave him your name. Merry gentleman tricking children, for shame. Yeah, fey creatures, never known for tricking children. He literally asked for our name like he was going to take it, and we gave it willingly. Yeah, unfortunately you were a little, like, out of it. It's fine, past us was a fool. But we didn't say thank you, at least. At least we didn't say thank you. Alright, the next day, you wake up in the tattered page. What do you want to do? What is your intent? Get to the north and head to Shadridge, right? We give blood to a possible psycho, give our name to a fae, everything's gonna be great. That's the thing, though. If you promise your soul, if like Apis promises their soul to a demon, and then promises their firstborn to a hag, and then like you can make deals with everybody, and then just like sit back and watch as they all come to claim all at once, and then you're like, ha 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 ha. The fae and the hags and the demons and the necromancers, they're all wanting me, and the gods. The gods are interested too. And they can all fight over you. Plot twist, we were the changeling all along. No comment. Breakfast, then meet Charlie and Joey at the wagon. Let's get on that supply cart. Womp womp. Alright, so you return your book to Andrea, who asks, was it good? And you say, I wouldn't say good, but it's informative. Can we poop? You also defecate, just to make sure that that's been said in character. Apis does use the bathroom. You use the bathroom, you then have breakfast, you do your morning ablutions, wash your face, clean your clothes, I guess, put on your fresh underwear. Then you head to the north of town where there is a supply wagon waiting for you. Let's head to Shadridge. The notes were illuminating. Prestidigitation, everything. Yeah, you've got prestidigitation now, don't you? It was one of your spells. Now that you're an arcane archer, you've studied magic somewhat, and you've got prestidigitation. So you clean your clothes off with prestidigitation. As an outlander, your clothes have been rather tatty and dirty, heavily stained for a while now, because you do wash them, but you only really have 2 pairs of clothes, and you're washing one while you're wearing the other, and so they tend to accrue stains. But now that you're magic, you practice some of your hand movements and incantations to clean them off, and you're like, whoa, wish I'd had this all along. Finally, a cantrip, and a useful cantrip, yeah. So you arrive at the... so glad that Avis doesn't stink anymore, yeah. So you arrive at the north of town to find that Charlie and Joey are already waiting for you by a wagon that is being pulled by a donkey. They've got a beast of burden mule on duty rather than a horse, because the horses are all in use up in the actual war, it seems. So the donkey's pulling like a small wagon. It's enough for one person to ride on the wagon and the other 2 to walk alongside it. So do you want to ride on the wagon, or do you want to walk alongside? You are as fast as these guys if you are not taking bonus, because you are a ground dwarg, a species of my own creation. You have a 25-foot walking speed, but you also have a bonus action to move an extra 5 feet on your turn if you're not doing anything else with your bonus. So you're, as standard, you can move at 30 feet around like these guys can. Walking seems more rangery. We had to protect the cart, so walk beside it. Alright, so you're going to walk alongside the cart, and Joey, who is sort of the senior Knight of Kavosna here, I suppose, he's going to ride on the cart, and Charlie is going to ride on the other side of it anyway. So you set off. You set off north on the way to Shadridge. Let's see what the weather's like today. It is midwinter. So, where's my D6s? Oops. And this one, it is slightly... which way do I go with this usually? Down is actually clear. So it's slightly clear. It's a clear day. It's a cold day because there's not a lot of cloud cover. But as the morning goes on, if it stays this clear skies, then at least the sunlight will be able to get through and start to warm up the ground a bit. But it is still early morning. The Knight of Kevin Costner. Yeah, Knight of Kavosna. That is not a coincidence. Kavosna was initially named for Kevin Costner because he is the god of protection, and Kevin Costner was the main character, the main actor in Bodyguard. And so that's where the link there came from. That's where Kavosna got his name. It's not spelt that way though. As you head north, you are on the lookout, so I will just have you make a perception check as you go. Dice cam perception, you are walking through... You're not exactly in the forest, so I'm not going to give you forest bonus here, but you do have proficiency in it, so you have a +5 here. +5 to your perception bonus, and you are wearing your Displacer Cloak. 4 + 5 is a 9. Cool. Does Tremor Sense help? If something is in contact with the ground that you are in contact with, it will definitely help, yes. You're in your Displacer Cloak, so your image is shifting. Joey has a crossbow that is sitting on his lap. And what's his name? Charlie. Charlie is sort of scouting ahead a little bit. Keeps sort of scouting ahead, coming back to you. He's got really good perception as a very wise druid. Keeps coming back and reporting on anything, and then heading off ahead again. You find no incident between Fondirg and the Deadwoods, like heading on the eastern side of the Lannis Woods. But once you get into the Deadwoods, it starts to get a little bit more creepy. This is your first time heading through the Deadwoods towards Shadridge, rather than coming out of it slightly further west. So you are now seeing the path that was made by the army over the last 8 months. Isn't Tremor Sense from our mushroom blood? No, it's from being a dwarg. As we go, can we ask Charlie and Joey to give us details of the last 8 months? Yeah, sure. You can chat with them. What details would you like? I'm not just going to make up things from the last 8 months and spend an hour talking about it, but if you have specific questions about what's happened in the last 8 months, I'm sure they can tell you if they know anything. Is the Deadwood a forest? The Deadwood is a part of a forest, yet it's a large part of dead, dying forest with lots of termites and such in it. Have you heard about Updwarg? What's Updwarg? Repost from earlier to see if... Excuse me. Can we evolve our abilities? Could we push our ability to detect portals and combine it with our primeval awareness to eventually be able to detect creatures that originated from specific portals as well as their direction using TomTom? Maybe. Given enough practice, I'd allow that to be something you work on in downtime. If nothing interesting, then never mind, just updates on the area and any major changes or events. Like everything that's going to come up that's necessary for you to know, I'm going to end up describing. But yeah, they tell you about the things that have happened in the last 8 months, and as and when it becomes appropriate, we can reference back to, oh, Charlie probably would have told us on the way up. All right. So as you are walking through the this Deadwood part of the forest, I think, let's see actually. Oh, okay. Alright, that's going to be useful. And then that's lucky. That's unlucky. Okay. I'm going to need to adapt something real quick. So as you go, there is a there is a moment of panic from Joey's voice, as very suddenly he says, "Look alive! Enemies behind!" And immediately he goes into initiative. You all go into initiative, but you have the surprise round. You have the surprised condition. So we're going to head over to the battle page. And we are going to look at what we are looking at here. As you spin around, you can see that Joey is on the front of the cart with the donkey in front of him. And he is turning around and loading his crossbow. And turning round to one of the trees, one of the dead trees that has started to move forwards, and sort of like it's melting, the wood and the bark is sort of shifting into this this pillar of goo, essentially, and starting to reach out towards the back of the cart. At the same time as you are seeing this moving towards the cart and reaching out like this melting pseudopod of branch towards the tree cart, you hear something off to your left, off to the west, start to shout something in demonic, in abyssal, and you don't speak abyssal, so it's just some demonic language. It doesn't seem to be. Let's roll you an insight check just real quick, just as a free action. Let's see if you. That was a dice cam of a 7. 7 plus 2, 9. You can't infer whether they're shouting a warning or anything like that. You don't know what they're shouting. But as it reaches out towards you, unfortunately, with your perception check from before, it did not beat their passive perception. Charlie also rolled a nat 1 on his perception, so he missed it. They rolled really high on their stealth checks, and thankfully for you, Joey rolled high on his perception, high enough to meet the one of them that failed their stealth, rolled lower on their stealth. So Joey managed to save some of this here. So I'm going to put ally number 1 here. That is going to be Charlie, and ally number 2 is Joey, because alphabetical order. And we're going to roll you some initiatives. So I'm going to take Apis. Your initiative is going to be a 6 plus 3 from your dexterity for a 9. Mel is going to get a 14 plus, I think, 4 from her dexterity, so she's on an 18. She's going first, probably. Everybody except for, I didn't really roll Mel's perception, but I'll roll her in a second to see if she's surprised as well. Then we've got Joey's initiative, which is a 9 plus his modifier, I think, is a 2. I'll check it in a moment. So that is going to be an 11, which is going to beat yours. And then we've got Charlie's. Charlie rolled a 16, and he's got a good dexterity. He's got a +3. So he got a 19, which is even better than Mel's, I think. I can't remember what Mel just got, so I think Charlie's first. Charlie's ally 1. There we are. Alright, so we're getting the initiatives here, and then let's see what happens with the baddies. Nat 20, Nat 1, and a Nat 2. Okay. So let's move all of these along a little. Ally 1, Ally 2, fuck off, Mel. Fuck off, bloody thing. Ally 2, Apis. And we've got enemy 1, and then I'll just combine these two as enemy 2 at the end there. Okay. I thought Outlander had some alert-like feature to it. Nope. Alright, Mel's perception. I was going to roll Mel's perception. Let's roll it with a Mel dice. Not great. She was on a 5 plus something, so she wouldn't have seen it either, so she's also surprised. So let me move you guys over here now so that I can see a little better on my tail spire. I really need a third monitor. This is what you're looking at. We've got Apis. Apis, you are moving through the trees with your giant bee, Mel. A little bit behind you is Joey and the donkey. And behind him, reaching out from a tree, turning from a tree into a huge demonic creature-like thing, is going to be this geezer. You heard some shouting from in the trees of some other demon that was shouting something from over here. And Charlie is further ahead, scouting ahead, as I mentioned he was. Charlie's up here. Charlie does not actually look like that. He doesn't have a beard, but hey, that's the closest I could find to a druid in Tailspire. All right. So this is what we're looking at on the board. At least this edition of D&D doesn't use flat-footed. Yeah, right. So enemy number one. Enemy number one. This thing is going to shout out again, and is going to. Oh, no, you failed your insight check before, so you don't know. They shout something out, and then they are going to fly out of this part of the forest. And as they fly out of this part of the forest directly towards you, you see this incredibly beautiful-looking woman with red skin, very much like the model actually. A very beautiful woman with red skin and horns and wings. She is. I will have you make a. I'll have you make an Arcana check to see how much you know about otherworldly creatures and such. I need the dice cam, and your Arcana is a 15 plus, I think. Let me check the main page. You have proficiency in Arcana now, and a 3 intelligence. So you have a +6 to that, I believe. So with the +6 onto 15, 21. With a 21, you can recognize that she is definitely a fiend, but that her appearance is much too symmetrical for her to be a demon. Demons, you know, by all of the research you've done and by the amount that you were reading of the Demon War book yesterday, demons are chaos incarnate, and so they are an amalgamation of like asymmetrical body parts, and they've got claws on one side and like pincers on the other, and they've got a tentacle for a leg and all of this shit. So she's not as asymmetrical as you would expect a demon to be. As you quickly look across to this guy, he definitely is. This creature that was mimicking a tree and has since started shifting is starting to now develop. Some of the branches are starting to develop into these large pincer claw things that you can see. Some of them are developing into these huge horns, but unlike the mini, they are very asymmetrical. That guy is clearly some kind of a demon. This lady is not entirely symmetrical. She's not beautifully symmetrical right down the middle like a mirror. So you would say that she's probably not a devil, a straight devil, but she is somewhere in between perhaps. That's what I'll give you with a 21 Arcana check. However, none of that really makes a difference, because what she does is fly right to here and then try to attack you immediately. Alright, so what is your armor class? It's an armor class of 15, you can see up in the top corner. Oh, sorry, no, this isn't an attack roll, it's a wisdom save, I think. Where am I looking for her stats? It's on my phone, that's it. Give me a second, sorry, I'm kind of all over the place. I really need another monitor. Too many things open. Alright, so we will get a wisdom saving throw from you, Apis. You have a... Ooh, that's good. That's a 19 on the dice. 19 plus your wisdom of 2. You can see that as she steps out from the forest, she looks at you, catches eyes. She very subtly kind of smiles and like smirks, and it's a very flirtatious kind of look to her. And for a second, you find... Oh, maybe she's here to help. She seems like a friend, and then your brain takes over and is like, no. She's trying to charm us, and you manage to shake it off and be like, no, and then you see when it fails, her brow knits, and she goes, damn it. It seemed like it failed. She tried to hit you with a fiendish charm to magically charm you, and it did not work. So I believe that's all she can do right now. So that is her turn. She's going to turn to the others, and you see her shout. I'll give you another insight check on this. You see her shout something. And then I will have you make another insight check to see if you not understand the meaning of it, but sort of pick anything up about it. That is a 14 plus your insight of 2, that's a 16. With a 16 you can tell that she was shouting it over your right shoulder, as in that direction of the forest. She was shouting something in this direction, not seemingly shouting a command to this guy. Alright. That is her turn. It is now your ally's one, which was Charlie. Charlie has the surprised condition and did not know what was doing, so he hears what's his face shouting about something and turns around, and that's pretty much all he's going to do on his turn. Mel is also surprised. She hears this guy shouting about something, and she turns around to be like, "What are you talking about?" Ally 2 is Joey, who is ready for it just, so he turns around and takes a shot with his crossbow bolt. So he's going to take a shot. That's going to hit, and then he's going to drop his crossbow bolt, bring out his spear, and take a stab at that too. A nat 20 on that. Nice. Good job, Joey. So he's going to deal a bit of damage to it. This one, and this one, and this one. Wait, no, this one and this one. And then a 6 on top of that, plus his 3, 6, that's 12. 12 plus this, yeah. And that's 12, so 24. 24 damage. As his crossbow bolt fires into this tree-like thing, it seems to not enjoy that, but it also seems to resist it somewhat. It's not as much damage as it expects. So as it reaches out with his big old claw thing, Joey stabs it in the claw with his spear. Get back! He's ready for something. This is why we brought Joey along, putting in the work. Yeah. Is he going to action surge immediately to go again? No, he's not, because he needs to reload his crossbow, I reckon. Okay, folks, Joey's got this. Let's just move on, leave him to it. Yeah, we'll keep going. It's fine. That is Joey's turn. Apis, you are up, but you are also surprised. So you are ready. You weren't quite ready for it. You failed your perception checks and stuff, and that is your turn. Enemy number 2 is the demons, the big old ones. So this guy's going to move forward and take a big clawing strike at Joey. It's going to take 2 of them, in fact. So that is going to be not enough to hit, and I think that last one is enough to hit. Where did I put Joey's stats? It was in my document. That's right. Document. Find Joey. Where are you? Current quests. Returning to Shadridge. Journey to Shadridge. In the Deadwoods. Joey, here he is. AC 16 just misses. All right, so both of those just miss. Good on you, Joey. He's fighting this guy back with his spear and from the back of this donkey. That's everything. Then it is this guy's turn. Where are you? This guy's turn, who is hiding in the trees back here, is going to move. Let's see. He's going 4 meters to there, and then come on. And then another 6 meters to there. He's out of speed, so he's going to have to dash, but he's going to take the dash action and get all the way to. Why aren't you spinning? Turn around. Why aren't you turning? How do you turn them in? I wish I was Rackham. Rackham knows how to use. There we go. He turns to Charlie to attack this thing. And stumbling out of the forest, you see this huge, single-eyed creature in the center of his face. He's got a massive big arm on one side, but a teeny weeny arm on the other. Seems like he's got wings that he wouldn't be able to fly on because they're different mismatched sizes and whatnot. That is their turn. They had to dash to get there, which means we're back to the top of the round with enemy number 1. Don't kill the donkey, then we'd have to pull the cart ourselves. Yeah. Might be magic arrow time? Maybe. But our natural explorer level 1 ability means we're always alert to danger after an hour in favoured terrain, have an effect of our chance of being surprised. We weren't in this terrain for an hour, so it wouldn't have kicked in yet. But good thinking out. That might have helped. But we weren't passing through the dead forest for more than an hour. It's not an hour's journey through it. We should concentrate fire to kill them faster. We should try and concentrate fire on one of them. Yeah, which one are you going for though? This one, having failed to charm you, is going to instead. She is going to notice that you failed. You succeeded on her charm, so she's going to instead try a similar but different tact, and she's going to cast command on you, and she says, "Grovel for me like a good one." And she casts grovel on you. You need another wisdom saving throw, or you need to drop to the ground and grovel. So that is a wisdom save. Ooh, that's not good. That is a 6, you can see there. A 6 plus 2, so that's going to be an 8. You have a lucky horseshoe and a hero point. Lucky horseshoe, alright. I need to click on it, like so. We tear off the lucky horseshoe, which allows you a reroll. And that is an 11 plus 2, which is much better. 11 plus 2 is a 13. Is 13 enough? Let's find out. What is the DC? Where is it? Ooh, DC 14, unfortunately. So that is going to be a fail. So on your turn, you must do what she asked, which is drop to the ground and grovel. To read you the wording of the spell, blah blah blah. Grovel says you must fall prone and end your turn. So on your turn, you must fall prone and end your turn. All right, that is her turn. She realizes that it's taken effect as you start to just drop down to your knees. I believe that's all. She's going to stay there as well. She's fine with where she is. She's close enough to taunt you without being close enough to be in melee range with you. She knows that her other demons are dealing with you, your companions. So that is her turn. Ally number 1 is Charlie. Charlie is no longer under the effect of surprised conditions, so he's all the way over here. You can help me out, guys. What do you think Charlie would do? I will tell you that he is a level 9 Moon Druid, which means he can wild shape as a bonus action into any creature that he's seen before, which is anything up to challenge rating 3, even flying creatures. He also has 1 level 5 spell slot, which could be pretty much any Druid spell. He has 3 level 4 spell slots, 3 level 3, 3 level 2, and 4 level 1. If you've got ideas as what Charlie would do, then I'd like for you to help me out here, because otherwise it's just me playing with myself for most of the stream, which is a different kind of stream. She can move in and attack as well. We're prone on her turn. Yeah, maybe. Turn into a big-ass animal that tanks damage and deals it out hard. Yeah, it could turn into a big animal if you wanted, like an ape or something. Cast plant growth. Do you have anything that could blind the one in front of him so he could rush over to the rest of us? Oh, that's a good point. Try and blind it. Can he Misty Step to the succubus thing and wild shape into a bear lion? That could be fun. Moonbeam. Moonbeam's a good spell. It forces shapeshifters into their true form and does a bit of radiant damage. Moonbeam. They've all been learning it for this exact reason. Charlie has seen Coda. Charlie has seen Coda. Can he wild shape into an owlbear? Would I allow it? Yeah, why not? He could go owlbear. All right, so action to do something and then wild shape into an owlbear. That's what he's going to do. He is going to, as an action, let's have a look at some. I'm not going to take that off of my phone, otherwise I'll lose it. I'm just going to open up my spells and see what sort of druid spells he might use. I reckon he uses something big. He's got a 5th level and some 4th levels. Let's go big and hard. Come on, you prick! Fucking D&D Beyond, pain in the ass sometimes. Let's look at 5th level druid spells. What you got for me? Anti-life shell. Conjure elemental. I'm not doing a conjuration, that's for sure. Control winds, Gaius, greater restoration, insect plague, maelstrom, reincarnate, scrying, transmute rock, tree stride, wall of stone, wrath of nature. Wall of stone could be good if he wants to like cordon this guy off, put him in a box of stone maybe. Wrath of Nature. What's that one again? Where he turns into something? Oh, this is fun. You call out to the spirits of nature to rouse them against your enemies. Choose a point you can see within range. The trees and rocks and grasses in a 60-foot cube centered on that point become animated until the spell ends. Any area of ground in the cube that is covered by grass or undergrowth is difficult terrain for your enemies. At the start of each of your turns, each of your enemies within 10 feet of any tree in the cube must succeed in a dex save or take slashing damage from whipping branches. That could be useful. Plus, at the end of each of your turns, one creature of your choice that's on the ground in the cube must succeed in a strength save or become restrained by roots. And, as a bonus action on your turns, you can cause a loose rock in the cube to launch at a creature you can see with a ranged attack. I think that's a fun one. This is a fun one. He's going to do this. Now, who's the god of nature? God of plants and things. It's not Flood and Shale. Yolashti. He whips around, sees this thing running out of the... sort of runs stumbling towards him out of the forest, dashing to get to him, this huge, like, clawing hand coming up to grab him. And he shouts out, Yolashti! Help us! And he slams his staff into the ground, and suddenly all of the trees around, in a 60-foot radius around, centered on, let's say, Apis, because then it's kind of getting everybody, start to lash out at everybody. It's a concentration spell, so if he does take damage, he might lose it. There's not a lot of grass or undergrowth here in the dead woods, unfortunately, so the difficult terrain thing won't happen. But they will do at the start of his turn, the trees will whip out and hurt them. At the end of his turn, one creature he can choose will become restrained, and as a bonus action on his turn, he could cause a loose rock to fire at somebody. That seems like a good use of the spell. You guys remind me if I'm forgetting parts of it. He then is going to, as a bonus action on his turn, he's going to turn into a beast he's seen before, which I'm going to house rule as allowed for an owlbear, because I am in the midst of reworking my beasts and how beasts work in my games, and basically anything that's in the monstrosity category that should not be a monster but should actually just be a beast is becoming a new thing that I'm calling fantasy beast or magic beast or something. So I don't know if I've got an owlbear mini in here. Let's see if we can find something that's useful. Oh, is this it? Is this an owlbear? Owlbear. Yeah, boy! Pow! He's got one. Alright. You bugger off. How do I kill you? Kill Charlie. Alright, he's going to turn into an owlbear as a bonus. He's going to then leave this guy's melee range, because some of you said that you wanted him to come over and help you, right? He's going to... No, I think he doesn't. I think it makes more sense for him to stay where he is. Stay where he is and try and take a big clawing owlbear strike at this thing's face. Pointy is definitely a monster. Pointy is 100% monster. Why would you even ask me if Pointy was not a monster? Pointy is the definition of a monster. An owlbear is clearly just two beasts put together. They're like fantasy beasts. He's going to strike out at this monster, this demon thing, and with a 9 plus his owlbear modifier. Where am I best to pull up owlbear? Let's pull it up on here. Man, I could do with a fucking fourth monitor. I've got so many tabs open already. Maybe I should have my iPad or something. I don't have an iPad, but maybe I should have my laptop. Monster name owlbear. Can he attack after casting a spell? Ah, yes, thank you for the reminder. No, he used his action to cast a spell, used his bonus action to change, so now he can't attack. So this is all he can do on this turn. So he's going to stay where he is, though, and get up in this demon's face. And I've got my owlbear open for when I need it. Alright. That is Charlie. Turns into a big old owlbear to face off against this demon. Then it is Mel's turn. Mel, what are you going to do? Mel is going to try and sting this lady, probably. Or try and... Oh, she's gonna summon swarms, of course. Fucking conjuration. But it's useful, and it's what she'd do. Alright, that is... let's see, what have I got? Have I got swarms in here somewhere? I feel like I've used swarms before, right? I feel like I've used swarms before. Let's just use this giant bat to indicate the swarms. She's going to conjure 1 on this lady and 1 over here on this guy. That is her action to summon the swarms, which means we now have Mel's militia. Bing! On the cards on the initiative. Then she is going to tell her militia to bite and sting and scratch at these things. Damn it, useless. Even against the armor class, yeah, no, that fails to attack this lady, fails to get anywhere into her, like the cracks of her armor and such, or her hardened skin. And then this guy, also terrible, even worse. Mel's militia aren't super useful against demons, it seems. That is her turn. That is the militia's turn. It is now ally 2, which is Joey. Joey's going to no, he's just going to take 2 stabs with the spear, isn't he? He's just going to take, yeah, two more stabs with the spear. One is going to fail, the other one is going to succeed, and then he's going to action surge and do it again. That is another success and I think that'll fail, which is, stats are in here. Joey, +6 to hit, yeah, that's going to fail. Alright, so out of 4 attacks, 2 of them strike true, which means that he gets this plus... Oh, maxed the damage on both though. So that is a 18, and then halved to 9 because of resistance. Stab! Stab! Seems they're resistant! He's shouting out to you guys now. That is Joey's turn. It is now Apis. Apis, on your turn. Unless you wish to use your hero point to avoid having to do so, you will need to drop prone and end your turn. Do you wish to use your hero point to actually be able to have a turn? Just grovel, it's fine. Hero point, yes. Hero point, no. Hero point, yes. Don't grovel. That is more yeses than no's, it seems. Alright, so heroically, you are just about to drop to your knees and grovel to this woman, when instead you decide, no! And you manage to use your heroic point to be like, no, let's not waste our turn. So Apis, you have a turn. What do you want to do? I didn't actually draw anybody for the... It's been a while since we've actually had a combat, haven't we? That's my bad. I forgot how we do things. I gotta quickly log into Nightbot and roll somebody, don't I? Keyword, exclamation mark, demon. If you want to be in with a chance to decide what Apis is going to do here on this turn of combat, type exclamation mark demon in the chat. Alright, all people who have entered, it seems, so we're going to roll it. We've got Milzy. Milzy, start writing out what you think Apis wants to do on their turn. You've got an action and a bonus action, and your movement. If you need to know the spells that you have access to, that is here. You have Prestidigitation, not going to be useful right now. Cure Wounds, nobody's really wounded. Hunter's Mark could be useful. Protection from Good and Evil definitely could be useful. Zephyr Strike could be useful, and Misty Step could be useful. Pass Without a Trace, probably not. This is what Apis is doing, and then after Apis is going to be the big guys. So to save time, since the big guys are fighting different people anyway, I'm just going to keep going with their turn. I'm assuming that you're going to do something with these guys, or you're going to try and kill the big guys, and you're not going to be able to take them down in a single round most likely. So I'm going to start with this guy over here. This guy over here is going to roll attacks against the owlbear. It is going to first make the owlbear make a wisdom saving throw, which it succeeds on. So not that you see it, but the camera sees the eyeball just kind of like rolling back in its head, and then this kind of like hypnotic pattern starts that the owlbear was almost going to get stuck by, but nope, not with Charlie's wisdom. And then it's going to make one slashing attack with its claws, and that is a nat 20 on its claws. Nat 20 claw attack. Oh, Milzy already responded. Thank you. I'll get to that then in a second. So the nat 20 on the claw attack is going to be 16 plus 4 is 20. 20 plus 4 is 24 points of slashing damage to the owlbear. 24 points of slashing. 24 owlbear. Owlbear is still up, because from memory, owlbears have like 30-something hit points. Milzy, what did you put? Put a little space between us and the lady. Hunter's mark her. 2 shots. Action surge 2 more. Love it. All right. So while that guy's slashing at your ally over there, you're going to run back over here. She says grovel. You say fuck you. You run back over here to put yourself a little distance. Get yourself a little bit of cover. Turn around to face the right way. You dumb bloody thing. There we go. And then running down. Trying to get a cool cinematic shot here, but these trees are in my way. You're trying to you aim around the corner of the wood here. You take your bonus action to Hunter's Mark, which marks off one of these spell slots. As you roll a Hunter's Mark, as you cast Hunter's Mark rather, I'm just going to roll you something real quick that you still don't really know why I do. That is a nat 1. Okay, interesting. You put your arm out with your bow in it, you lift it up, and this greenery around her, well, not that there is much greenery actually, this brown sort of decayed nature of the wood kind of saps into her and gives her this sort of almost bark-like appearance around her legs and such. Then you take a good close shot and you fire. As you shoot the arrow, do you want to use any of your arcane arrow abilities? How do they work again? Somebody remind me. The fact she saw it take and we still resisted must make her so confused. Yeah, right. Bursting arrow, you imbue your arrow with the force energy drawn from the School of Evocation. After your attack, you can just choose to make it do it. It doesn't take a bonus action, so you can just immediately, upon hitting her, you can choose to make her explode with 2d6 extra force damage. Just be aware that the Mel's Militia will probably die because of that too. And then the other one is Seeking Arrow. You can do this before rolling in order to just make it definitely hit. That one's probably not useful. Save the arrows. All right. So you fire your regular arrows at her instead. Let's roll you some attacks. Your first attack is a 17 plus stuff, will hit. Your second attack is an 18 plus stuff, will hit even more. The third attack after an action surge is a nat 1, which will hit your militia, your Mel's Militia friends. And the fourth attack after is a 19. So you got 17, 18, 19, nat 1. What a perfect cock tease by the dice there. We rolled a 17, we rolled an 18, we rolled a 19, we rolled a nat 1. So you action surge, so I'll use that as well. And you fire once, twice, 3 times a lady. Each one is going to be a d8 from your longbow and a d6 from your hunter's mark. So I'll just grab them all together, 2d8 and 2d6. Where's the other d8s? There's another d8 and another... Where are my d6s? There's a d6. Cool. So you've got 3 attacks, 3d8, 3d6. That is a... I'll turn the dice cam on so you can see. That is a 6 and 4 is 10. 3 and 2 is 15, 18, 19. 19 plus your dexterity modifier 3 times is another 9, so that's 28 points of damage. 28 points of damage because you are firing it, let's see, 28 points of damage. Unfortunately, you're firing it with a regular bow and you didn't use any magic abilities on the arrows themselves. The Hunter's Mark adds to the damage, but it doesn't make it magical damage. And so it's non-magical damage, it's piercing. And so it is, what did I say? 28 halved to 14. She seems to take 14 points of damage from the 3 combined attacks. Not a hell of a lot, but like hell of a lot more than you were going to do otherwise. And then on the one that you miss with, the nat 1 that hits your allies, they get to roll a dexterity saving throw. They fail it, and so you have to roll damage on that, and then they take half. So you give them 3 points of damage halved to 2, and then because they are resistant to piercing damage as a swarm, they take 1. So you don't actually kill the militia, you just do 1 point of damage with a stray arrow. You kill a couple of the bugs. think that is your whole turn. You did a movement, a bonus action, an action surge, another action. Should be everything that you do. Excellent turn, Millsy. Well done. Let's go to Nightbot and draw the next person so that we don't forget. Let's do exclamation mark bug, B-U-G, because you just killed a bug. Should the Hunter's Mark halved as well? Yes, Hunter's Mark specifically says that it adds extra damage of that attack's damage type. And so it's just, if you're doing non-magical piercing damage, then Hunter's Mark adds non-magical piercing damage. I'll look it up to make sure I'm making that call correctly. Hunter's Mark. Until the spell ends, you deal an extra d6 damage to the target when you hit it with a weapon attack. It doesn't say an extra d6 magical damage or anything like that, it's just it adds extra damage. So it just is, unfortunately, if you are doing non-magical damage as a base, it does more non-magical damage. Alrighty. Using Planar makes Hunter's Mark do force damage, correct, yes. Using Planar Warrior makes the Hunter's Mark extra damage into force damage. If you use Planar on a next attack, it will bypass the resistance, but just for one attack. Yes, correct. And add extra force damage to it. Alright, so exclamation mark bug if you want to be in with a chance to decide what Apis is going to do on the next round of combat. In the meantime, that was Apis' turn. Enemy number 2, we are in the middle of the fight with that other guy, so he just will zoom back over here now. He struck the... he failed on his wisdom save, but struck the owlbear. The owlbear needs to make a concentration check on his concentration spell that he has up, which he makes with a 15 plus stuff. And that is all that this demon can do, I think. So now we are over to this demon. This demon's swarmed by Mel's militia, but he does not care about Mel's militia. He cares about Joey. So he's going to tear him apart. And you can see that he's starting to, like, he's definitely dropped his entire tree form now, and he's now just like this melting massive ooze with eyes and pincers, and he's reaching out for Joey, and his slathering mouth seems to appear and seems to say in some sort of abomination of common language,
I'm going to eat your face.
Seemingly enjoying just being an asshole and a demon and an evil person. With his 2 attacks. Terrible. With a 4 and a 5 on the roll, plus his modifiers, is not going to be enough to hit Joey's armor class.
I'm going to eat your face.
And Joey says, "Not today!" And he strikes back and strikes back. He's going to hit him and smack his proboscises and his pseudopods and things away. Is this guy hit at all ever? Not yet. Not the greatest of warriors, is he? Alright, let's draw who is going to be Apis now. Got so many things open. Roll it. We've got Sparrow. Sparrow, fly away. Think about what you're going to do on Apis' next turn in combat. You've got a movement, a bonus, and an action. Your action surge is gone, but you've got a second wind and 2 magic arrows if you need them. Alright, next up in the initiative order is back to the top of the round 1 with the enemy number 1. She's getting struck 1, 2, 3 times with your arrows, and she looks down and snaps them off, leaving the arrowheads just like embedded in her. And she looks across to you and says, "Well, aren't you a fantastic warrior? This is going to be interesting. I might leave you alive." And she turns to your giant bee companion instead, and is going to try... Can she do this more than once a day? Oh, not one humanoid, it specifically says, so she can't charm Mel. She can command Mel. She is going to command Mel to... she points out at the donkey and she says, "Sting the donkey." Like, what an asshole's targeting the donkey. She just wants to cause commotion and chaos, it seems. So Mel is going to have to make a wisdom saving throw against this. Ooh, Mel did a pretty good job with the wisdom save. That's a 13 plus her modifier. Where the hell is Mel's stats? She's got a negative intelligence, but she's got a positive wisdom. Yes, she's got a +1 wisdom, I think, which means that would succeed. So Mel does not have to sting the donkey. We need a rage effect whenever somebody goes for Mel, yeah. Mel thinks about flying over here and then's like, no, I don't think I will. And you're like, yeah, go Mel. Fuck, man, this lady can't get any of her charming command things off. That is her action. What's she got as a bonus? Let's see. She is going to... She's not going to leave this swarm. She doesn't seem to be bothered by it too much. She needs a more charming outfit, yeah. Maybe she needs to go to roberthartleygm.com for the merch store and get some more charming clothing. Is that what you're going for, Fancy? You wanted me to do a merch push. That brings the donkey into initiative order, right? The donkey can go on... the donkey can go on Joey's turn if you guys want the donkey to do something in particular. Enemy number 1, failing. Ally number 1, that is the owlbear. Alright, start of your turn, you can whip out at any creatures of your choice and make them take slashing damage, correct? What was it? Slashing damage, where's my spell? There it is, Wrath of Nature. Enemies within 10 feet of any tree, that's all of them, must succeed in a dexterity saving throw or take 46 slashing damage. Dexterity saving throw from the 3 of them. That is a fail, and I think a success. What is your... Where are your stats? You're on my notes, Charlie. I am out of habit of doing this quickly. DC 15, so that is going to succeed. So 2 fails and a success. If you succeed, you don't take any damage, but the other 2 take whipping damage, 4d6 of it. Alright. So 4d6 whipping damage. So let's keep track of this on here. She's taken 14 damage from your attacks, and she took nothing from Mel's militia yet. This guy has taken what was it? It was 9. Ah, shit. I wrote it down somewhere. Where was it? 24 was the owlbear. Oh man, I'm out of touch. I'm keeping notes all over the place. I'm not doing things in the right place. He took, let me try and work it out. It was Joey's stabbing attacks, and he's stabbed 3 times and succeeded. And one of them was a nat 20. He shot him and succeeded, that's right. It was a... I'm gonna just round it up and be safe and say he's taken 20 damage. That is them 2, and then they now take the 46 slashing from the whipping branches. Whipping branches! That is 10, 12. That is 12 points of damage, and that is slashing damage, unfortunately, so they do have it, so that becomes 26 damage, and then you take another 6 damage from there, 20 damage. And then this guy misses the... this guy avoids being whipped by the branches with his dex save. That leaves... Now we're on to Charlie's turn. That was just the ongoing effect of his spell. Charlie's turn. He is now an owlbear. He can't do much. As a bonus action, he can now whip out one of the rocks, like fling a rock at somebody. Make a ranged spell attack against the target. On a hit, it takes 3d8 non-magical bludgeoning damage. And must make a strength save or fall prone. That's pretty fun. He's going to do that against the guy he's standing next to. So this is a fun little bit of flavour here. He, as an owlbear... How do I spin this? There we go. As an owlbear, he's fighting this guy, scratching at him, concentrating on the spell. He takes a big clawing attack with that guy's huge big claw, but manages to concentrate on the spell. And then he tries to get the tree behind him to whip out, but he deliberately telegraphs it, and the guy like turns and ducks and whoosh, moves the thing, and then as he turns back around, Charlie has picked up a rock from behind him with his magic and thrown it at the guy's head. Make a ranged spell attack. That's pretty good. 11 plus his modifier is going to be enough. So as the guy turns around, whack! It hits him right in the face for 3d8, just like the catapult spell. That is good. That's 17 points of bludgeoning damage. 17 onto this guy, halved because it's non-magical bludgeoning damage. 17 halved, rounded up to 9, so he's taken 9 points of damage. And then he must make a strength save or fall prone, right? This guy is pretty strong, but... Ooh, that's... let's see. What's your save DC, Charlie? That is a... Charlie's save DC, 15. That is a failure. So this guy falls prone. Not one of those. How do I make you prone? One of these makes you prone. Status. Knockdown. Oof. Awesome. And now he can make his action to attack him with advantage because he's prone. Yay! Alright, I'm ignoring you, so let me pop back over here and check. I'm not missing anything in the chat. And they're resistant to all non-magical damage or resistant to piercing damage. They're resistant to non-magical damage. I'm not keeping track of anyone except Apis, so I can't help. Best note taker. Making them prone will help his attacks. Yes, exactly. 3d8, we should be just throwing rocks. Yeah, only if you can whip them with a catapult-like spell, unfortunately. You can't do 3d8 just by throwing a rock. Alright, we are good. So this guy is going to then... Charlie is going to then do his owlbear mauling things. Let me pull up the owlbear stats. Owlbear, what you got? You got multi-attack. Makes 2 attacks, one with beak, one with claws. He's got advantage on them because the guy's prone. That is a garbage roll. That is a 7. 7 plus 7 is, I don't believe, enough to hit. Where is the monster stat block? Where did I have it? I've got her on her phone. I've got him on here. Somewhere. Where are you? Here you are. That is not enough to hit. 14. So, that guy does not take damage even from the beak as he's slashing out on the ground. But then he's got his second attack with the claws. He's still got advantage. Hey, nat 20. That'll make up for it somewhat. Nat 20 plus 7 even. Whoosh! Oh, and with 2d8 from the claw base damage plus 5. So that's already 21. 21 plus 2d8. 21, and I did pretty well as well. 28 plus 6 is... Wait, no, 21. What did I say? 16. 21. 21 plus 6 is 27. Plus 2 is 29. 29 halved, rounded up 15. That guy's going to take 15 points of slashing damage. I haven't played a druid in a while. Can somebody remind me? Do they, at a certain level, get a feature that's like your animal's attacks count as magical? Something sounds familiar there. No, having the Moon Druid magic. Yeah, there we go. I knew there was something in my mind about that. So his attacks count as magical, and so he does not have it. He takes the full 29, taking him to 38 total. 38 total hit points of slashing damage. That guy's wishing he wasn't lying on the ground underneath a giant owlbear. Let's put it that way. That, I think, is your ally 1's turn. Now it is Mel and her militia. Let's see. Let's just roll for the militia first because they're nice and easy. That is a miss and a miss, both on the same number. So far, the Mel's militia have rolled 4 times, and I got a 5, a 4, a 5, and a 5. So the bees are doing a great job, and I'm really glad that I added them to the initiative order. Then we've got Mel. Mel is going to then... She goes, no, I don't think I will stab the donkey. I think I'll sting you. And she flies over and she's going to sting. The bees came from the dead forest. Maybe they're all weak because there's no flowers. Yeah, that's probably what it is. I was going to have to talk to them afterwards, give them a pep talk.
Sting, I think I'll sting you to the face.
She's going to take an attack roll at the lady. That is good, and that is good enough to hit, I believe. Where's Mel's stat block? I really should have put all the stats in one place for this fight. Did not have the time to do that. Did not think about it. Where the fuck are you, Mel? You are on my... You're on my home brewery. Your attack modifier should be a 7, I think, from memory. Mellifera Giant Bee Companion. There you are. And you have, at this level, the ability score improvement, blah, blah, blah. So you've got a +3 to hit on your strength, on your dex of 4. So +7 to hit on 11 is an 18, which is enough to hit. This strikes through this woman's chest, stings her in the upper shoulder. And where is your stinger? It is 1d6 plus your dex mod. So 9 points of damage. 9 points of stinging damage, and then 2d6, 3d6 at this level. Yeah, 3d6 poison damage. But I think she's immune to poison. Resistant to poison. Okay, so she'll still take half. So 9 points of piercing and 10 points of poison. So 19, resistant to all of it. So 10. 10 points of damage to the lady. Takes us to 30 points of damage dealt to her. As she gets stung by Mel's stinger, she's like, not exactly what I had in mind. This isn't going exactly how I planned it. That is her Mel's turn. Then I believe that is the ally's turn. Ally number 2. Ally number 2 is Joey. Joey's still got his stabby stab on over here with his spear. He's just going to try and stab this guy in some vital organs if he can. That is an 18 and a nat 1. So he's also going to stab some of the militia bugs. The militia failed their dexterity saving throw to get out of the way of the friendly fire, which means he'll roll against them and they'll take half, and then half again. So he hits once, hits twice, 3 times a lady. He's going to use 2 hands on his spear now to get extra damage. So against the big guy, thankfully that's a lot. That is 11 points of damage, halved. And then against the bees, thankfully that's not a lot. That is 7 halved to 4, and then halved again because they're resistant to 2. So the bees take 2 points of damage. He kills 2 bees as he's striking out at them, but then he hits this guy for 11, halved, rounded to 6, takes us to 32. Hopefully she isn't poison resistant, so her face swells up with bee sting venom. Yeah, unfortunately she is. Red Lady's taking a major ego hit there, yeah. Does this red lady have wings? She does, yes. She isn't using them. She like used them when she flew out of the forest towards you, and then she landed down, and she's just kind of been standing there arrogantly. Does Joey have any magic stuff? He has some stuff, some fighter stuff, but not super useful right here. Basically, he's a good protector fighter. He's what's called a cavalier fighter. It gives him advantage if he's against something that's smaller than his horse or something, and this thing isn't. He's also got things that, like, if the thing that he's attacking starts to attack somebody else instead, he gets advantages and stuff against them. He gets to mark them and do extra damage and things. None of his cavalier things are coming in useful right now in this particular fight. Right, that is. I'm counting up with the HP that all of them have taken, Sparrow. That is, I believe, all of the allies, which means Apis, it's you. Sparrow, what do you want to do? What is Apis doing on their turn? They're currently sort of got a little bit of cover from that lady. That lady is not yet looking wounded. But this guy over here is having better days for sure. We still have Hunter's Mark up, so plane a warrior and shoot the lady demon twice. Nobody messes with Mel on our watch. That makes sense. I like that. She is going to be the target of your wrath then. You are going to plane a warrior as a bonus. What am I doing? Dice cam. Plane a warrior as a bonus, and then fire with a 5 plus your modifier of 8 on your longbow. You can see over there. That is going to be a 13 to hit. 13, unfortunately, is going to miss. The planar warrior arrow flies past her, so you quickly planar warrior it onto the next one, because I think the planar warrior says on the next attack that hits on this turn, blah blah blah. So it'll still apply to the second one if your second one hits. You've used all your rerolls. You have indeed. Alright, so you fire off the Planar Warrior, strikes into a tree behind her, and then the second attempt at a Planar Warrior is a 9. 9 plus your 8 is a 17. 17 also misses, unfortunately. She has a high armor class, this lady. Your Planar Warrior fires off past the bee. She seems to dodge out of the way of it, into the tree behind her. And she says, "You really are a good fighter. Interesting. Who are you?" She directly asks you, "Who are you?" in common. Is it possible to use Seeking after the arrows? No. Seeking is one of the only Arcane Archer features that you must declare before you actually hit with it. I'm your worst nightmare. If you knew where I was from, honey, you'd know there are much worse things than you. I go by Archer. Well, Archer, how fitting. I'm sure we'll get to know one another quite well. Alright, as you fire off your arrow, that was your bonus, that was your action. Sparrow, do you want to stay where you are, or do you want your movement to go anywhere else? Check out this forest, by the way, this dead forest. It's pretty cool. Alright, Sparrow, we staying where we are? Did I miss your message? Stay where we are. Alright, cool. We are going to draw the next person then. Let's go to Nightbot. Let's go to... the next one is exclamation mark... exclamation mark lady. Tell your big boys to back up, stop the attack, and I might consider talking. All my big boys rip your men apart, and then you talk. Enemy number 2 is, let's start with this guy over here, who's going to try and hack at Joey. Joey! What's he got? He's got his pincer attack that he hasn't used yet, if he can get a hold of Joey, for Christ's sake. Yeah, let's go for it. He's going to try and he's going to put his whole thing into his one attack. So it means that he has to hit with this, or it's kind of shit. Okay, he hits at least. Alright, so he hits Joey with a double claw pincer attack. So his big old pincers come out from both sides, like one looks a bit more like a crab claw and one looks more like a mandible of some kind. He grabs Joey in 2 different places. Joey is now considered restrained because of that. And then he is going to, as part of the attack, he does the slashing damage, which is 8 points of slashing damage. And then he is going to now tear Joey apart, or pull him at least, trying to tear him apart. Joey must succeed on a con save. He very well and truly makes it, so he takes only a d4 damage this turn. Joey is up to having taken 10 points of damage now. But he's considered restrained by 2 pincers. He's going to try and tear him apart if he can. Don't kill my husbands in their first fight. But Wraith, you have spares for days, yeah. Remember, we also have a litre of holy water. We do. If we need to use it, we've got holy water on our person. Alrighty, that is this bad guy. Then we're going over to this bad guy. This bad guy is prone underneath a ferocious owlbear. He is going to try and... It's going to be his whole action if he does that. So I think maybe just stand up. Just push back and stand up. Yeah, he's going to push back and stand up. He's going to head over this way and stand up. Come on. If you were watching that particular fight, you see that his body kind of like turns into like a goop and just like pushes off to the side and then stands back up again. Charlie is no longer on top of him and prone, but oh yeah, at the end of Charlie's turn, he got to choose somebody to try and restrain, didn't he? Ooh, if he'd have chosen... Yeah, okay. Retconning very slightly here. The end of Charlie's turn, as part of his Wrath of Nature spell, One creature of your choice that is on the ground in the cube, which he was, must succeed in a strength save or become restrained until the spell ends. And if he's restrained, he can't get up again, which is pretty good. Alright, so strength save from that guy. 4, he failed it. Alright, so that makes it nice and easy what he's going to do this turn. He's just going to strike out at Charlie from the ground. You're still prone, mate, sorry. Oh, shit, I just stood up. Oh, man, that sucks. Yeah, it does. But as he's trying to stand up again, all of the vines and roots from the ground, because of the wrath of nature, just like stick into him. And even if he tries to go goopy form, they're like grabbing him and pulling him down. He's considered restrained, which means he cannot get up again. And because he's restrained, he has disadvantage on the attack, even if he didn't already because he was prone. So he's just going to strike out at Charlie with disadvantage. That is going to, I think that's going to hit the owlbear armor class though. Owlbears don't have a great armor class. So yes, even with disadvantage that's going to hit. Oh, owlbears have 59 hit points. Man, he's not even wounded yet. He's going to do this much damage though. That is 14 points of damage to the owlbear. Owlbear took like 26 before, I think. It was 20 something. 20 something and 14 makes 30, let's say 38. Charlie concentration check, thank you for the reminder. Ooh, not good. What's his constitution? Charlie, what you got? Oh, he's got good constitution, that's good. That's a +2, which is 10, which is more than half of what he... Yes, just 10 is exactly what he needed, and he just got it. 8 + 2. I'm looking at the right guy. Yeah, that's Charlie. Alright, Charlie is concentrating on the spell, but only just. That is, I think, all of the bad guy, both of those two bad guys. Then it is, we've got back to the top of the round with enemy number 1. Before she goes, let's roll the Nightbot. We've got Slylock. Slylock, you have control over Apis' next turn of combat. So start thinking about what you want to do. You've got a bonus in action and movement. And meanwhile, it's her turn. She's just got stung by a big old bee. She's covered in bees. I'm covered in bees! But she doesn't really seem to care about that. She's fascinated with you and the abilities that you have, and says we'll probably get to know each other after I've killed your friends. So then she is going to... What's she got? She's got one more command. She might use that on Joey. She's on Joey or the big old owlbear. Now the owlbear's busy over here doing its thing. She's much closer to this guy. Oh, tell you what she's going to do. She is going... Oh, does it have to be able to understand language? Let's look. Command. Creature within range. Ah, bollocks. Spell has no effect if the target doesn't understand your language. She was going to command the donkey to buck and throw Joey off. She's going to command Joey to go limp. She's going to say relax, and force him to try and relax into being torn apart. And so Joey is going to have to make a wisdom saving throw. Joey, what are your stats at, brah? Oh, not great, not enough. That's a 7. 7 total. So Joey on his turn is going to have to go limp and relax into being torn apart, which is going to do significant damage to him. That is her turn. She does this to him. She says, "Hey, you there. Why don't you relax into it more?" And then she turns back to you, and this is right after she said, "No, my big boys will tear your friends apart, and then we can talk." I think that's her whole turn. She's going to stay where she is. She's perfectly happy with it. We use Joey's hero point. We have Hunter's Mark on her. We're actively tracking her already. You are indeed, yes. Your ally number 1, which is Charlie, he is over here at the start of his turn. He's going to whip out at everybody with the slashing damage, see if he can do any attacks on her. Ah, man, she failed again. The big guy failed again, and the guy on the ground has disadvantage because he's restrained and fails as well. So they all fail, take 4d6 slashing damage, which is 2, 3, 4, 5 I rolled. That is 3.5, so that's 5, that's 10, that's 14. 14. Halved to 7. That's right. That's what I was doing. Halved to 7. So that is 45. He is looking wounded, the guy on the ground. Halved to 7. She is not looking wounded yet. And halved to 7. 39. He's not looking wounded yet. That is the slashing at the start of Charlie's turn. He's got a rock to do as a bonus, which he can do at somebody to knock them prone. I think he sees. I think he's aware that Joey's in trouble, and he's going to try it at that guy. So he's used a ranged spell attack. Don't think that's going to hit. What's his modifier? Charlie, where are you? You've got a plus. What's your 3, 6, 7, 8? So you got 7 on that. So you got plus 7 to that. So it's a 15. 15 actually does hit. So it strikes him even with a low roll. Charlie's got a good modifier. So that strikes him for 3d8 bludgeoning damage. Which is going to be 17 bludgeoning damage, halved because it's non-magical, so halved rounded up to 9 takes him to 48, and now this guy is looking wounded. And then this guy needs to make a strength saving throw or be knocked prone by the rock flying out of the woods at him. That is a success though, unfortunately, so he does not get knocked prone, but he does get clonked in the back of this gloopy head of his. That was Charlie's bonus action and start of his turn action. Then he's going to use his action to multi-attack this guy. He's like merging with this guy, look. Charlie's becoming... When two become one. Man, look at this terrifying thing of an owl beak right to the groin. Yeah, that's what's happening. Alright, then he's got attack with beak, with a whatchamacallit, with a advantage. With advantage because the guy's prone. So that's a 16 plus stuff will hit, and then the claw attack is a 3 and a 6. 6 plus his modifier I don't think is enough. 6 plus I said 7, which is a 13. 13's not enough. So his beak will hit, his claws will not. And where are your claws? What do they do? What does your beak do? Your beak does 1d10 plus 5 piercing damage. So he bites this demon right where the crotch would be and deals 13 points of piercing damage. Not halved because he's a moon druid. 13 points takes him to 58 rather. Alright, this guy's had better demon days. And he shouts out something in demonic. And then she turns back to him and replies in common, saying, "Yes, well, if you'd listened to me instead of fucking up the ambush, you wouldn't be dying." Very matter-of-factly. That is... I've got lost. That was Charlie. That was Charlie's whole turn. At the end of his turn, he can then choose one person to try and restrain. He's going to try this big guy again. You need to make a strength save or be restrained. 7 plus his strength modifier will not be enough to take it to Charlie's DC, and so this guy is restrained. Restrained by roots. Cannot move. Not that he's been really trying to move anyway. Alright, what am I looking at? What am I missing in the chat? I don't know if cure wounds can help with dismemberment. Being of the match, yeah. Heavily guarded return cart coming from Shadridge is 10 meters away, right? Druids do have to deal with whatever they ate while wild shaped once their stomach returned to normal. Big boy action figure moment. Can Charlie restrain? Yeah, at the end of his turn, yeah. He's restrained and restraining Joey in turn, yes indeed. He can't move from the spot. His movement is 0, but it doesn't take his movement to pull his arms apart. Okay, that is, I believe, all that the bad guys can do, all that Charlie can do. It is now Mel's turn and the militia's turn. Mel could try the spores on the lady. Yeah, she's got soporific spores to see if she can put her to sleep. It would also work on the militia, wouldn't it? It's everything in the area. Mel's militia. Mel's soporific spores. Let's see what you got. You got adrenaline injection. You got a summon swarm. You got a soporific spores. You've got magic weapons. Oh, starting at 6th level, your sting and the attacks of Mel's militia also count as magical for the purposes of overcoming resistance and immunity to non-magical attacks and damage. I forgot that. I forgot that I gave Mel that at level 6. So I will give this lady a little bit more damage from the sting that she did before, which I think was it was a 5 on the dice, plus 4 is 9, and I rounded halved up to 5, so she's going to take another 4. So I'll just give this lady another 4 damage from Mel's stinger, and I don't think the militia have actually done any damage yet. She's not looking wounded yet. That is her. That is that, sorry. Then it is, she hasn't gotten that yet. So yeah, all she's got is soporific spores or a sting. So Mel's going to do soporific spores or a sting. Let's see. Beginning at 3rd level, you can as an action shake off a dusting of pollen, which drifts downward to form a 15-foot radius cloud beneath you, and all creatures in the cloud must succeed in a con save or fall asleep. She has in the past promised to not use the soporific spores unless you tell her she can, and so she is not going to do that. She's just going to sting her instead. All right, stinging the lady. Here we go. Stinging the lady. That is 4. She cannot seemingly get through this lady's armor class. Try harder, Mel. That is Mel's turn. It is now the militia's turn. Militia, here we go. Let's see if they can get through the lady's armor class. These militia have been taught by Ben. One of them got a nat 1 on the lady, and the other one thankfully gets has advantage because it's restrained, and so gets a 14 plus stuff, which will hit. I did say on my turn for her to use the spores, but you might have missed it. It's not your turn, Spur. It's not like you don't control Mel. She's my creature to control, not yours. You're not a Beastmaster Ranger. You chose Horizon Walker instead. So Mel is an ally and a companion. You can suggest things, and I might go with you. All right. Where am I at? What was I doing? It's the militia on this guy. So this militia on this guy finally get an attack off, and as they get an attack off, it does how much damage? Mellifera, where's your Mel's militia stat block? Bite attack plus 4 to hit. So they hit, and then it deals 4d4 plus 2 piercing damage, or half if they've got half the hit points left. They do not have half the hit points left. They're still a full swarm, except for a couple of bugs that Joey killed. And so they're doing 4d4 plus 2. 1, 2, 3, and 4. That is 2, 3, 4, 5, 9. 9 plus 2 is 11. 11 piercing damage, and because Mel is above level 6, it counts as magical. So 11 magical piercing damage. So when they can hit, they can actually be useful. That takes him to 59. This guy is looking wounded. Not dead yet, but getting there. Let's see if he can kill Joey before he dies, eh? That is our ally, that's the militia. The other militia stay where they are, and then it is ally number 2, which is Joey. Joey, on his turn, he failed his wisdom saving throw, and so he has to just go limp. And so I'm just gonna put him prone to remind us that he just went limp on his turn. He's not able to take an attack. He's not able to fight back, and he's also going to be at a disadvantage on his con save against being torn apart by this guy on his next turn. Apis, it is now your turn. Thank you for your patience. Sly, I think it was, right? Slylock, yes. Alright, Slylock, it is now your turn. What are we doing? I see here you asked a while back, can we call shot on a seeking arrow? No, you can't. But you said she doesn't use them unless we tell her, and on my turn I told her to use... Oh, you said... Right, I see what you were saying, Sparrow. Yes, that is on me, not you. You said that Apis shouts to Mel to use the spores. I did miss that. So on her next turn she'll use the spores, I guess. Turn right and planar the prone enemy. Then, without turning back, seeking arrow the red lady in the wing if possible. Put her to sleep, Mel. Nice. All right. We are going to turn and planar warrior the prone enemy, which is over here. Boop. You turn, you focus on the prone enemy here, and you take a planar warrior attack against it. Prone does give disadvantage on ranged shots, especially because you have your body in the way. He's a pretty big guy, but unfortunately, yes, prone on ranged attacks does give disadvantage, but you'll still make it. You've got a decent modifier. You've got a +8 longbow. Yes. Oh, sorry, I forgot to roll in the tray for you. That was a 16 and a 17. 16 is the disadvantage, and the +8 takes it to a 24. 24 is a D8 plus another D8 for the planar warrior, plus another 3 on top of that from your dex. So that is 2d8 plus 3 damage on this guy, and it's all force damage, which means it's all going through. Unfortunately, that's a 1 and a 4, which isn't the greatest. So that is 5 plus 3 is 8 points of force damage. How much does he have? There you go then. 8 takes it to 66, which is more than the 65 that I had in mind for him. There we go. So as you turn and planar warrior, you feel the coursing energy crackling down your arm. It gets down into your bow. You pull it back. The arrow seems to disappear into the ethereal plane. You let it loose. It strikes him right in the guts, right below the legs of your owlbear companion, who's rearing back to take a big strike against him. It goes underneath between his legs and strikes this guy like up in the gut, right through where the sternum would be on a creature that actually has proper internal organs and such. And as it strikes in, the arrow bamfs back into the material plane from the ethereal, bringing with it all of that extra energy, and boom, explodes him in force damage. Charlie, being in range of an exploding demon, has to now make a dexterity saving throw. Nat 1. Nat 1 with the owlbear's dexterity is not going to be enough, so Charlie is coated in demonic ichor. He is going to immediately take 3 points of acid damage, and potentially from that drop his concentration. He does with a 2. So unfortunately, he was able to withstand all of the attacks of this guy directly, but as soon as he gets splashed with 3 points of acid, he drops concentration on his spell. So he remains as an owlbear, but his wards and whatever it is, Wrath of Nature, ends, which means this guy is no longer restrained by whatchamacallit. Okay, that was your bonus to Planar Warrior. 1 attack on the guy on the ground. You now have 1 more attack, Sly. And you have your movement. You got 1 more attack, and you got your movement. You said your other attack was going to be seeking arrow on the lady, right? Seeking arrow on the lady. That was quite surprising, yes, that the guy explodes for ichor. All right, so I'm going to go over here and mark off one of these. And you've used them in practice, but you have not used them in the main event yet. I've lost myself. Here we are. Yeah. Do it without turning back so it looks cool. Firing at this guy, and then you take your arrow out, and you don't know this lady's name yet, but you know who she is. You can recognize her. What does the seeking arrow do? It's !TT_seeking. Is that it? You grant the arrow an ability to seek out your target. When you use this option, you don't make an attack roll. Instead, you just choose a creature you have seen in the past minute. If the target's within the weapon's range and there's a path for the arrow to travel, the target must make a dex save. On a failure, it takes the arrow's damage plus an extra d6 force damage, and you learn the target's current location, which you already know. So you fire at this guy, and then you say something cool like. Still confident in your big boy's ability to tear my friends apart, and you fire the arrow just directly into the air, focusing on the divination magic that you've been studying about the weapon, and thinking to yourself, God, I hope this works. I'll look like such a dickhead if this fails. And then it goes up into the air and then immediately turns over. Yondu's arrow style points towards her and then just fires down directly at her at a much faster rate than you even fired it. She has to make a dexterity saving throw against your DC. What is your DC? 7's probably going to fail. 7 plus stuff. What is your DC? It's intelligence based, right? 1,000,000. Yeah. DC 14 is it? That comes from where again? It comes from your. It's 8. It's usually 8 plus your proficiency bonus, which at this level is 3, so it's 11. 11 plus your respective bonus, which would be your intelligence, I think. So 14. Yeah. 14. Yes, it would come from your. It would come from your intelligence, proficiency, and 8. So DC 14. Does she have a +7 modifier? I don't think she does. Let's find out. She is proficient in 4 of the 6 saving throws. Dexterity is not one of them, but she does have a very high dexterity. It's just not 7 high. So she fails her dexterity. You are going to take the full amount of damage, which is a D8 from your arrow damage, a D6 from the Hunter's Mark damage, and a D6 from the Seeking Arrow damage, and let me see, Seeking Arrow again. I don't think the whole thing becomes force damage, does it? I need to look up the actual wording of it in the character sheet, I think, just to be sure. Yondu times Hawkeye. Super cool, yeah. Let's look up the actual wording of this and the proper thing here. Arcane Archer. Seeking Arrow. On a failed save, the target takes damage as if it was hit by the arrow. That wording means it is going to take the regular non-magical piercing damage plus an extra d6 force damage. Yeah, okay. So I will roll this one separately as the force damage, and the regular and the Hunter's Mark will be halved. So this one is the regular and the Hunter's Mark damage, which is 3 plus 2 plus 3 is 8, halved to 4. And then this is the force damage, another 6. So 4 and 6 is 10. 10 total damage to her. Now I need to find her. Where's she gone? 10 damage. She's over here. Strikes her. It looks really cool, but she's not yet looking bloodied. She is kind of pissed. As she just finishes telling this guy, yeah, well, if you didn't fuck up the ambush and you listened to me, you wouldn't be dying, would you? And then you strike him and kill him, and she goes, see? And then you strike her with the arrow, and she goes, what the fuck was that? And she's fascinated to learn what the hell you just did to hit her. And she goes, that is... okay. Right, I'm definitely going to leave you alive. I need to know more about you, it seems. And then she is interested... oh, sorry, dice cam. She is interested to know what's going on with you, because right after she has finished telling this guy, well, if you didn't fuck up the ambush, you wouldn't be dying, you then kill him immediately, and she goes, see? and then you fire off the arrow and it strikes her, and she goes, what in J. Chandras? What was that? And she's fascinated by what you can do, it seems. So we'll see how that turns out in a moment. That is your action to take 2 attacks. It was your bonus to playing a warrior. You've got movement if you want it. Slylock. Where are you going with your movement? Just get a little more cover behind the tree. Great. Wonderful. That is your turn then. Enemy number 2, which is only one guy remaining now, which is just this guy. He's no longer restrained, but he is potentially going to tear Joey apart. I'm going to roll this one first before asking you guys to enter, because it might change who wants to enter for Apis, depending on whether Joey is torn apart in half or not. So he's already got Joey attached by his claws, which means he does not have to roll to attack for his tear apart damage. He also has already done some tear apart damage at a d4, which means the damage dice goes up now. And then if Joey fails this con save, the damage dice goes up as well. Again, rather. So with a Constitution save with disadvantage because he went prone, he went flaccid, I suppose. That is a fail with a 5 and a 3 on the dice. So Joey is his failing his con save, which means the dice, which had gone up from 1d4 to 2d6, has now gone up again to 3d8. So the tear apart damage is now going to do 3d8 damage to Joey. And if he is continually pulled apart on his next turn, it goes up to 4d10. And if he fails a con save again, it goes up to 5d12. And then eventually, he's going to just get torn apart. It does more and more and more damage each time. That is a 14 points of damage, tearing damage to Joey. 14 points of tearing damage. Thankfully for him, he hadn't taken a lot of damage yet, and so he's still okay. He's not being torn apart yet. If we heal both halves of Joey, then we get 2 Joeys. Yeah. I feel like if they die, we should just let Wraith have the turn. Okay, that is the bad guy's turn. He's used his whole action to try and tear Joey apart, and it didn't work yet. But he's on his way to doing so. Joey's definitely going to have some put some sort of arm back into his socket or something. Let's go to Nightbot now and roll up the next person. If you want to be in with a chance to win the next to be the next control of Apis, let's go exclamation mark. I already used demon, didn't I? Exclamation mark claw. Since Red Lady wants us alive, why don't we focus all energies on Joey's enemy? We could do. Does him getting hurt give him a save against the command? It's only a 1-round command anyway. As soon as he did the command, he is then free from the command. What are you talking about, Wraith? Alright, that is enemy 2. Back to the top of the round with enemy 1. Enemy 1 is her. She says she's fascinated with you and keeping you alive. Mel is all up in her grill, so maybe she just straight up kills Mel now. Because she's getting pissed at this. Her commands are all gone. That stuff's not useful. Fiendish Charm won't work on you. Yeah, fuck it. She's just going to use this. She's going to put her... What's the distance here? Is that a... What is the distance between here and you? 2.7 meters. What's that in feet? 15 feet is 4.5 meters. So that's fine. That's enough. That's distance enough. So she's just going to turn and get both of them in it. She steps to here, not quite leaving the melee range of the militia, and so she's going to then just put her hands out and just let this sheet of fire grow out from her in the direction of all of this stuff. And so she's going to get both militia, Joey, the donkey, Mel, and the trees in a burning hands. So everybody needs to make dexterity saving throws. This is from Mel and the other geezer. Let's see what's her dexterity, what's her DC. Mel makes it, thankfully. The militia also make it. Then we've got, let's go with the donkey and Joey. The donkey makes it and Joey does not, even if he's, you know, even without the disadvantage because of restraint, so Joey fails. Then the other militia, they also make it. Jesus. Lucky bastards, lucky rolls here. So everybody makes it except Joey, which means they'll all take half damage. She's doing this much. It is a very dry forest, which is going to be 18 points of fire to Joey, who failed his dex save. 18 takes him to 42. And Joey is looking real bad. Yeah, Joey's looking fucked. Like, he doesn't have much left in him. And then 18 halved to 9 for everybody else. Thankfully the donkey made it, because you don't want the donkey dying. So the donkey's taken 9 damage now. That's the first damage the donkey's taken. 9 damage onto these guys. Takes them to 11. I think the militia are still up at 11. Let me double check them. Militia! Yep, militia are still up at 11. Then we've got Mel, who took 9 damage. Is that the first damage Mel's taken? I think it is, isn't it? Nobody was hitting her with anything, so she takes 9 fire damage. And then this militia also take 9 fire damage. She's really gutted because that could have, if everybody had failed their save instead of everybody succeeding the save, that could have turned the tide significantly for you, for her. Him dying before being ripped apart might be better, yeah. Can we just make it over to Joey in one turn? Let's see, shall we? Just so that the people who are entering can decide. It would take, as the crow flies, you could take 5.6 meters, which is definitely enough. You have, in meters, you have 25 feet, which is 7.5 meters. You have a 7.5 feet movement speed, or if you take a bonus action, you can get up to like 8. So you've got enough movement to get to Joey if you want to. You can also Misty Step if you want as well. Can Charlie banish the demon? I don't believe so, but we can look into what Charlie can do in a second. I think that is her turn, enemy number 1. Alright, I haven't rolled for Nightbot yet, have I? Nightbot, let's roll for it. 3, 2, 1. Immortal Creech! Immortal Creech, you are going to be controlling Apis for the next turn of combat, so have a good think about what you want to do. You need to come up with an action, a bonus action, and a reaction. The spells that you have are here, or if you want them, the bonus actions that you have are here. Vanishing isn't a druid spell list, I think. There you go then. Yeah, Immortal Creature, if you can, just confirm that you're actually still here in the chat, please, and you didn't just pop in and disappear. That is your turn. No, that is not your turn, that is her turn. Then we are back to the initiative order at ally number 1, which is Charlie. Ally number 1, which is Charlie, which is this guy here. He has enough movement with an owlbear for sure to get to here and kill this guy, and try and kill this guy that's attacking Joey. He's going to charge him down. He's going to use his action to multi-attack with his beak and claws. He's not. That guy's no longer restrained. He's size category large, which unfortunately means that the donkey, Joey, and the militia aren't enough to be like surrounded. Actually, the owlbear is also size category large, so would he get the surrounded condition? Let me check. Owlbear, large monstrosity. Yeah, okay. So then with the Mel's militia and Joey. Yeah, I'm going to say there's enough of them now surrounding this guy to give him the surrounded condition as I play it. And so I don't really use flanking, but this is my version of flanking that makes it a little bit more tactical. All right, so with advantage on the beak attack, that is a 12 plus stuff, which is going to be enough to hit. And then with advantage on the claw attack, that is going to be a 19 plus stuff, which is enough to hit. So beak attack first, which is magical, so it's not halved, which is good. That is going to be, where are all the fucking d10s at there? That is 7 plus the owlbear's 5, which is 12, so 12 points of damage to him. And then the claw attack, which is, I think, 2d8. So 12 plus another 6 plus another 5 is 23. 23 points of damage, not reduced in any way, and he just manages to kill him. Wait. 23 takes it to 82, yeah. And he just manages to kill him just before Joey dies. So this guy, this guy turns into Ica, and then as he does so, he drops Joey on the floor and then explodes in Ica. Everything within range, which is all 4 of those creatures that were granting him advantage in the first place, all have to make a dexterity saving throw against the acid Ica thing. So the owlbear first is going to fail. The donkey is going to fail. Joey, who is prone, has got a disadvantage, is going to fail. And the Mel's militia is going to succeed. Let's check my notes on that. No, wrong notes. Mel's militia, dexterity. Oh, they're not as dexterous as Mel. No, they're going to fail as well. Everybody's going to fail, so they are all going to take 7 points of acid damage. So 7 onto 41 makes 48, and the owlbear is looking real bad, but still keeping his form. 7 points of acid damage onto them will kill them, so the Mel's militia there are dead. 7 points of acid damage onto the donkey, not enough to kill it, but it is wounded. And then 7 points of acid damage onto him is not enough to kill him, but fuck, he is, Joey's bad. Joey's in a bad way. That is Charlie's turn. Charlize Theron. That is Charlize Theron. Okay, allies gone, Mel and militia to go. Mel is still wanting to sting this lady, isn't she? Oh, you said put her to sleep, so she's going to use soporific spores. So Mel flies up, she's going to soporific spores, forcing everything beneath him to make a con save or fall prone. The militia first, let's do militia first for fun and flavour. Mel's militia have a... nope, terrible. They cannot be stunned, restrained, prone, but they're not immune to being unconscious. Yeah, they're not immune to being unconscious. Let me just check in case I'm missing anything. Yeah, no, that's a fail. That's a fail for the militia, so they're all going to go to sleep, and then... ooh, fail for her as well, though. So 2. She is also not immune to being asleep, it seems. Yeah, she goes to sleep. That's a good round, Mel. You may have put your own bugs to sleep, but at least the lady in question is also asleep. Wrong one. This one. So as Mel flies up in the air, there's one way of doing that, isn't there? Is it like that? There you go. She flies up in the air above this lady and whoosh, oh, she gets an attack of opportunity on Mel as she flies out of her range in order to cast. Let me just double check actually. She might not need to leave her melee range for it. 15-foot radius cloud up to 30 feet directly beneath you. I'm just going to make an intelligence save for Mel here, because she might be... She's either... Here's what's going to happen, based on the results of this intelligence save. Mel is either going to stay within melee range so that she doesn't take an attack of opportunity, drop the soporific spores, not realizing that she is going to then be encompassed in her own cloud of soporific spores and potentially go to sleep, or she's going to leave the melee range, take an attack of opportunity, but not put herself to sleep in the process. So I'm going to make it an intelligence saving throw. If she's successful in the intelligence save, she's just going to leave and take the melee, take the attack of opportunity instead. So Mel, what you got? It's always funny when you roll a negative number. when you add such a high negative modifier that you get a negative number. Mel is definitely not a smart creature. She's very smart for a bee, but she's not smart for a person. So she does not. She thinks, oh, if I fly away, she'll take an attack on me. So she stays right above her, and then uses soporific spores. So she puts the soporific cloud right beneath her, which is a 30-foot a 30-foot radius cloud. Sorry, a 15-foot radius cloud up to 30 feet below her. So she just gets encompassed in her own cloud. Also, 15-foot radius. 15 foot is 4.5 meters. 4.5 meters. Actually, just go to cloud. Yeah. 4.5 meters. So there. So Joey is also going to have to make the save, and the donkey as well. And then Apis, you are actually technically in the 4.5 meters range as well. So you are potentially... So she just does this with a soporific cloud of spores and tries to put everything here to sleep. The owlbear is kind of right on the edge, so I'll give him advantage on it. So we'll first roll Charlie with advantage. Oh, maybe not. Have you got proficiency in Constitution? Charlie, you have Constitution, but not Constitution saves. So Charlie goes to sleep as an owlbear. The donkey then is a 6 and goes to sleep as he fails. And then Joey is it gets a 2 and goes to sleep. And then Apis, I need a Constitution save from you, and we're rolling the tray because it's you, so you can see it. That is a 13, you can see there. Really need to do something about this dice cam. Can't really see very well. 13 plus your Constitution. Have you got Constitution save? Let's see. Just a +2. So 15. So is a 15 enough to beat Mel's armor? Mel's DC? The DC for your saving throws is 8 plus your con mod plus your proficiency bonus. So she's got at this level 11 plus con mod, which is, yeah, so 14. So 15 succeeds. So thankfully for you, Apis, you managed to avoid Mel's soporific spores. Now finally, let's see if Mel does. Nat 20! Alright, so Mel stays on her feet, as it were, on her wings. But your bad guy goes to sleep. All of your remaining allies all go to sleep. Everybody's asleep except you and Mel. I love how the dice is telling this story. Yeah, everybody except for you and Mel is now asleep. And as per her soporific spores, the creature remains sleeping for 1 minute, or until the sleeper takes damage, or someone uses an action to wake them up. Undead, constructs, and creatures with Fey ancestry are immune to this effect. So you know that none of them are any of those. Question, actually. Because Joey and Charlie are both Bridden, which is half-elves in my games. Do Bridden have the can't be put to sleep thing? Or is it just full-blood elves that have that? Half-elf. Half-elf, half-elf, half-elf. They have Fey ancestry. You have advantage on saving throws against being charmed, and magic can't put you to sleep. There you go. So, actually, I retcon Joey. Joey is a half-elf. He is a Bridden, and so he cannot be put to sleep. I was going to stand him up, but he's prone anyway. So he's not asleep, but he is unconscious. Unfortunately, I will say, as soon as Charlie turned into an owlbear, he no longer has the Fey ancestry. He's got a different biology entirely, and so owlbears are not immune to being asleep. Should Mel be immune anyway, since we know she was made of Fey stuffs? Not exactly. She's not got the Fey ancestry trait. I don't think it's sleeping, blah blah blah, tie her up and gag her, that's reasonable. Alright, we are going to stay in initiative order because something might happen that ends up waking her up, so I'm just going to jump through past the people that are asleep, obviously. That was Mel's turn to put her to sleep. Ally number 2 is Joey. Joey's still awake, but heavily wounded. He's going to stand up on his turn. He's going to look around, like brush the smoggy smoke out of his eyes and stuff, and then turn to the owlbear and say, "Oh shit, Charlie, Charlie!" And he's going to wake him up with his action. So Charlie's going to wake up, and I'll stand him up on his turn. That is Joey's action to do that. Bonus action, he's going to second wind is the word. Ugh, not great. He's going to recover some amount of health there. Joey, where are you? You're a level 6 Cavalier. Level 6, which means he gets back 2 plus 6 is 8. He gets back 8 hit points, which is not to be sniffed at, I suppose. 41 damage. So that's his bonus action, his action. That is Joey's whole turn. It is now Apis. Apis, it's your turn. Who did we have before? We had Immortal Creech, right? Immortal Creech, you tell me what is it we're doing on our turn. We have one enemy left, and she is unconscious and pretty badly hurt. You can wake everyone else up in all ready actions to beat her something fierce. You could as well do that, yeah. You could just take everybody to take the ready action, surround her, and just beat the shit out of her. He's only level 6 and Charlie's level 9? Correct. Charlie's a level 9 Moon Druid, you're a level 8 multiclass, and Joey's a level 6 fighter. Was she within the bloodied range yet? I don't remember her reaching that yet. She wasn't bloodied, no. She's taken quite a bit of damage, but she's not, like, bloodied. Alright, Immortal Creature says, going to wake everyone up if possible. Okay, well, we have an action to wake somebody up. So what we're going to do is we're going to take an action to wake the donkey up. The donkey wakes up. There you go. And then the only one left unawake is the bugs, the Mel's militia. So I'll say that you can I'll say you can wake up the bugs with a bonus action. So with your turn, you use your movement to get to your allies. Use your bonus action and movement to move around, and you tell them to shush, 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 and then what do you want to do with the remaining of your movement, Immortal? Like stay within melee of this lady, beat her up if she wakes up. That's pretty much your whole turn, but you can flavour what else you want to do. We could just pass without trace and walk away now. Yeah, leave her asleep for the next 56 seconds. She's objectively evil, she's more useful dead. She's very strong, it might not be a very bad idea to skedaddle. Yeah. Get in melee range. Alright, so you get in melee range, ready to beat the shit out of her, I guess. Okay, not necessarily if that's not what the next person wants to do, obviously, but we'll see. Alright, if you want to be given the chance to decide... In fact, I'm going to put it to a vote as a hive mind collective. Let's put it to a... I'll just put it straight to a poll so that it can be very clear right from the start. Ready and beat her up. Yes or no, sneak away. No, or no, interrogate, doesn't it? Let's actually, I'll say, what am I going to say? I'm going to say, what now? And then I'm going to say, ready and beat her up as one of the options. Like if you all take your action to just like, to pause and like take the ready action and then all at once you just smash, 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 smash. You could all get advantage. She is unconscious, which means you all have advantage on the attack roll. And I think if something's unconscious, you get an automatic crit on them as well. Ready and beat her up is option 1. Tie her up and interrogate. Tie her and interrogate is option 2. Sneak away is option 3. Okay, those are the options. We've got 1 minute to decide. Do you want to try and kill her, try and interrogate her, or sneak away? You do get the impression that she was in charge, as it were. And from what you recognised at the start of this fight, she seemed to not be fully demon. And as such, she was able to maintain some semblance of hierarchy within this very small battalion of demons. And then from what she shouted to the other guy, like, for fuck's sake, if you hadn't ruined the ambush, like... You kind of got the exasperation from her of like someone who's trying to, who's been put in charge of organising a battalion of literal chaos. So that means she might know a little bit more about the demon war and stuff if you wanted to try and interrogate her. The danger is obviously if you wake her up without beating her up, then she could maybe escape. Alright, with 76% of Apis wanting to tie her up and interrogate her, that is what you're going to do. You're going to grab your magic rope out of your inventory. You can see it there under under magic rope over here, sparkly one. This is a magic rope of do whatever you want essentially, and so you give it a command to tie her up and it will tie her up on your behalf. She could have regeneration health as we debate. That is also very possible. She's good at charming and interrogating, could be very risky and give her time to try and escape. It's safer to just kill her. Yeah, unfortunately the vote did not go that way. So Apis, as you tie her up, I'm going to just say the tying up works because she's asleep for a whole minute, so you can really take your time to do it slowly and carefully. Like, as long as you don't cause her damage while you're tying her up, she will stay asleep because of the nature of the magic. It really has to be somebody using their whole action to shake you awake. It's not just like a light, come on, wake up now. You really have to try to break somebody out of the magic that is keeping them asleep. So as you are shaking her, and as you're not shaking her, sorry, then it means that she's not waking up. So as you are tying her up, you can tie her up very securely with the rope as much as you can. Do you want to then tie the rope to a tree as well? We could soak the rope in holy water first so she can't tear through it as easily. Yes, but as Wraith has said, it might cause damage to her, which might wake her up. So you think about that, but you think better of it for now. You think, I don't want to damage her, so I'll tie her up, and then if needed, I can splash holy water on her. We should gag her as well. So you get something out of your inventory. What have you got in your... let's see, you've got some... You've got a net, you've got your rope, you've got your other rope, you've got your non-magical rope. So you use your non-magical rope to, like, in the mouth, gag her a bit, so make it harder for her to cast any verbal spells. You also, with your magic rope, have made sure to bind her hands together, like so that it's hard for her to cast any spells that way. And meanwhile, the owlbear stands back up again and walks over here to tear her face off if she moves. So Charlie as an owlbear is ready. Joey is over here ready as well to beat the shit out of her if needed. The donkey is somewhere safe so it doesn't die. And Mel is like hanging around right over the top of it, and the Mel's militia are like buzzing around right on top of her. Blindfold her as well, so she can't see anyone to target with spells. You do all of the things. You're like, come on guys, we've only got a minute. I'm gonna roll you an initiative check just to see how quickly you can act to see if you can also get a blindfold off in the same amount of time. So we're just gonna roll this one. I'm not gonna touch it. I'm gonna find where the hell my dice cam is. And see that? Nat 1. Nat 1 on the how quickly are you acting. So you combined with Joey trying to give orders and Charlie not understanding things because he's in owlbear form, and the militia having having to tell Mel to tell the militia in turn, like, tell them not to attack her, tell them not to attack, and then Mel's having to say. So all of this is going on, and it's a bit of a commotion. You're also not trying to raise your voices too much to wake her up. So I'm going to say that you don't manage to get a blindfold on her before she wakes up, but you do manage to get her tied up and gagged. As you are standing around, I'm also going to say that in that time, Charlie is going to use one of his wild shape abilities to, as a bonus action, expend one of his spell slots to regain hit points in his wild shape form, so that he can keep his owlbear up a little bit more. Level 4 spell, which is going to do essentially cure wounds, isn't it, from memory? 1, 2, 3, 5 garbage. That is 11 plus his wisdom of 3. That is 14. He regains 14 hit points in his owlbear form. With one of his level 4s. Okay then. So you see her starting to come round, starting to come to consciousness. Oh, damn it! I've put my dice come on. You see her starting to come round, coming to consciousness. She's tied up, she's gagged, and you are surrounding her with your fighter, giant bee, swarm of bees, owlbear, and you with your magic arrows and such. And that is where we're going to pick up next time. Thank you very much for joining me, everybody, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye!
You've reached the end. This is the part where I've got to say something funny and or witty. And so like it and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.